So guys, we're live, guys. We're live. So we're gonna be talking about the weekend review a little bit. Because we're gonna be talking about the biggest transfer news, like the breaking news that has just been popping up in like 1 or 2 hours. Harry Kane has officially turned out a transfer request and said to Tottenham, "I want to leave Tottenham Hotspur." And there's also a report of Antonio Conte having a disagreement with the board in terms of the player wages and everything. And also, there's also a report that he could leave this summer. Where he goes, we don't know. We'll have a discussion about where Antonio Conte will go. And also, Romelu Lukaku could eventually be a Chelsea player come the upcoming season coming up. A region of 80 million pound, 80 million euro for him to leave Inter Milan if Antonio Conte doesn't stay at Inter Milan. Also, we're gonna be talking about some recent La Liga matches, Serie A matches, and everything. And we're gonna be talking about Ronaldo going to I don't want it to happen. If that happens, oh my God in heaven, my heart cannot take it. I love Ronaldo, but Ronaldo's gonna go I cannot take that. My heart cannot take that, please. So that I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. So how you guys doing today?
We're good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah,
So
good.
popping off.
Let's talk about Harry Kane first. Based on the report we're getting about Harry Kane wants to leave Tottenham Hotspur, Daniel Levy has already said 150 million for him to leave. And based on that, I think the Atlantic and the Talksport already said his preferable decision is to go to Manchester City, that he doesn't want to go to Chelsea just because of the rivalry between Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea. So, Red Devil, Harry Kane, is it time for him to leave at the moment, or is it able enough to pay that kind of amount of money for him? Despite his current, we know about his injuries, his current injuries is a problem.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I mean, we obviously talked about before when live, like fundamentally, and I'll keep it brief because I want obviously people to speak, but fundamentally, he's still got 2 years on his contract. So for me, yes, he had in a transfer request, that's great. But at the end of the day, you need to have teams that can afford to get him. And we know that what's his name is not leaving. He's not going to sell to a rival. I literally can't remember a last time where he actually sold to a rival.
Nope.
I can't actually think of a player where that left Spurs that was sold to a direct rival. I can't think of any. Arsenal, I can think of plenty. Chelsea, even to a certain extent. But I can't think of a Spurs player that's gone to a direct rival. So if that's the case, if he's going to go, he's going to have to go outside of England. And he said he wants to stay in the Premier League. So it's kind of catch-22.
Yeah.
If the only team outside of Europe, England, I think might be like a PSG, for example, that might, because they're like McCarthy's not particularly great. Maybe if we get Kane in, you can have Kane and Mbappe and thingy, and then maybe you're balling.
And Poch as well.
Yeah, and Poch obviously that connection as well, exactly. Yeah. So but would Harry Kane want to go to? I mean, if he wants to win trophies, then maybe, or I don't know, because the league title race is going to last day, but yeah, so that's the only place that I can legit see in terms of a team that has money, connections, and obviously got the manager. But I can't see other place in. And then lastly, should people spend that money? To be honest,
no. 150. Yeah, because of his record of his injury.
I can't think of many players right now that above 28 that you can say should be paid. Should you sign them for about 150? And the only ones are essentially Neymar, Messi, and Ronaldo, just because of who they are. But anyone else, I can't think of any other players 150, especially with an injury record like
Harry Kane.
But Salah's injury record is fine, and even Salah, to be honest, I would probably still say 100 million, okay, fine, but 150 for how many years you're going to get out of them?
Maybe 4 or 5 years.
I don't know. It's a risk. We already seen that with Eden Hazard. I don't know how many. Was he 28 when he went to Madrid?
28.
Yeah, 28.
And look what happened. So, we're in a pandemic as well. So I think that you're taking a major risk if you're going to spend 150 million on a player that's 28, has got injuries, etc. I don't think many players want to do that. So In summary, Harry Kane can do what he wants. But at the end of the day, with all things considered, he's probably going to stay at Spurs at the very least until his contract finishes, or maybe into his final year when Levy decides to sell maybe a reasonable fee.
Him putting out a request that he wants to leave now. Does it fall Daniel Levy hand or like
No. Like if there's one owner that I'm like, you don't force things from Daniel Levy. Force thing. It's Daniel Levy. Like you don't. Daniel Levy is the don when it comes to this sort of thing. Like he's a smart, businessman and stuff. So again, like I said, I can't think of any players that have been sold to a rival club. Because that's the thing. He'd have to, if Kane wants to stay in the Premier League, wants to win trophies, he'd have to go to a rival club, right? So which rival clubs could he go to? Well, okay, Manchester City. Okay, possibly Manchester United if he believes in the future project. And then Chelsea. And then maybe Liverpool, let's say. Those are the kind of the four clubs realistically go to. Liverpool don't have the money, not going to spend it. So get them out. So you have City, Chelsea, and United. United, especially with Cavani extending, no, I doubt it. We're not going to go for Harry Kane. So you're left with Chelsea and City, basically. So at a stretch, maybe City, but I can't remember the last time City spent, if any, 100 million on a player.
No.
And then you're left with Chelsea. And Chelsea are direct rival to Spurs, and Daniel Levy doesn't sell to rivals.
Yep.
So that's it.
Abdul, Harry Kane.
Yeah, like Red, he's made all the points that I was gonna cover. Like Levy, do you guys remember? I don't know if you remember, but this guy charged Inter Milan 20 million euros for Christian Eriksen when he had 4 months left on his contract, bro.
Yep.
20 million for
Legend,
Christian Eriksen with 4 months left on his contract.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
That's a legend, bro. Wow.
Yep.
And you expect him to sell Harry Kane for any less than
because I remembered Luka Modric to Chelsea was already a done deal. Daniel Levy said he doesn't want to sell to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remembered. I remember that deal very well. That's in hurt my feelings. Like
Bale to Madrid was
Bale
broke the world record transfer, which was held by Ronaldo at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta think like he's Levy is in a position of power, and you gotta think like Harry Kane. He's a Spurs legend, and he's on a lot of money, so he's not gonna turn around and say, you know what, I'm not gonna play for you next season if you don't sell me. Mm-hmm. It's like the relationship is not that shown. He wants to win trophies, but at the end of the day, he loves Spurs, and he's a legend at Spurs. He's loved by all the fans. It's not like he's being booed constantly. So at the end of the day, I think, but you also got to think on it from the perspective of Harry Kane, you know. Mm-hmm. Usually when you hand in a transfer request, that's when you've already sorted out a deal or you got an idea of someone who can buy you. You know what I mean? You don't you don't go around handing a transfer request and just hope someone buys you. You have an agent who is constantly in contact with clubs. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't know. The only two clubs I can see him going to is PSG and City. But you got to think PSG, they bought Icardi last season, I think. They had him on loan, and then they finished. They bought him fully for 50 million, I think. So I just can't see them buying I don't think anyone's going to buy Icardi from them. And he's been a flop. Let's just be honest. Like, they can't even win Uber Eats this season.
Yep.
So I just can't see PSG already going in for such an expensive striker when they just spend so much money on Icardi. So if anyone's going to buy him, it's City. But we also know that City, they don't spend more than 70 million on a player. That's just not in their
budget
strategy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think Harry Kane, he's in a golden cage. He's put himself in a golden cage, man. I just can't see him leaving. And to be honest, I don't think he's worth 150 either. Not when he can get Haaland for 75 next season.
Yep. Exactly.
Like, can I comment?
Go. Mm-hmm.
Look, obviously, when the news came out, everyone was emotional and were like, you know, Harry Kane to my team, that kind of thing. But upon reflection, I think this season it's kind of impossible because of obviously the parties that could possibly get him. Man United signed a new contract with Cavani. City obviously will not spend 150 million. It's just outside of their transfer policy. They have no immediate need for Harry Kane.
Yeah.
In Chelsea, direct rivalry, Levy would not do it. So look, I think Kane is going to stay for one more season, and maybe next season he gets his big move. And for clubs like Chelsea,
Next season,
80 million for
next
Lukaku
season
is just much better.
It's gonna be 29 years of age. 29.
Yeah.
29
Yeah,
years
I
of
don't
age.
know, man. 29 years of age. That's crazy. This guy is a talented player, and wow, that's deep, man.
Real deep, real deep. Harry Kane officially put in a transfer that I want to leave Tottenham Hotspur. It's a must. Like it's like in Africa, they say we always say something in Africa like if you don't want to make us succeed, like now by force I believe you. I beg. If I work with you, if you don't succeed, I have to take my leave. It has it that Harry Kane is like, hey Tottenham, I beg, we not go succeed. The time is for me to just carry my load, carry my bag, carry my everything. I gotta get the hell out of here, man.
Yeah. Hurricane. The main thing is the injuries. The injury. He's injury prone. He's always injured every season. So I was even hearing from a Spurs fan about his ankles. You know, he keeps injuring his ankles, and apparently the more you injure your ankles, the weaker your ankles get, and everything like that. And then he's not very young either. You know, before you know, he's going to be 30. So if we signed him, how long would he be here for? Those are the main concerns: his age and his injury record. And for me as well, he's not very mobile. You know, he's not very fast. He has good movements and everything, and he's the profile of player we need. But I just don't know how the physicality will be in 2-3 years time. So when Chelsea are in a desperate position to get him, but at the same time, he's we can't take the. It's difficult, man, because he's in his prime now, but I just don't. He's not a long-term option. That's the main thing. He's not a long-term option. So yeah.
Asaf, Harry Kane to leave Tottenham Hotspur. Where does it go to? The money and everything. 150. I'm not sold really on him that much. It have to go score. I know Harry Kane will score goals, but my problem is the injury workload. That's what my problem is. Give me your take, Asaf. Harry Kane.
What I think is that Kane to Chelsea is not going to happen.
We know that already. It's not going to happen.
If he stays in the Premier League, I think the team that's going to willing to pay that money is Man United. I don't see City spending 150 mil on one player.
Will United pay 150 for Harry Kane? I'm not sure. They have Edison Cavani who score goals. They can even convert Greenwood to a striker. So where does Harry Kane fit in? Who?
I would ignore.
Who knows, man? United sometimes.
No, I would ignore the United to Kane rumors. A lot of that stuff is like coming from Mirror and Sun and all this. You know, it's all this. Oh yeah, United to Kane and media steer. But when you look at the facts on the ground, the United board, Harry and Solskjaer begged Cavani to stay for another year. They begged for him. And you know why they begged? Because they don't want to spend 150 million or 200 on a striker. That's the facts on the ground, not the paper talk and stuff that's generating hype and agents and stuff. So I would be very surprised if United benched Cavani to spend 150 million on getting a Kane, especially with likes of Greenwood coming through. Because for me, Greenwood is probably going to be Manchester United's number 9 in maybe the next years, I think. You know, so
what will happen to Martial?
I think Martial will. See, that's why it depends on if we sign Sancho, because when you look at the front three of United right now, you obviously have Martial, you have Rashford, you have Cavani, then you also have Greenwood. You have obviously Pogba is now playing there somewhat if he stays. Then you have like Ahmad, you have Dan James. So there's a lot of deadwood. And to be honest, I think right now Martial's probably going to be on the bench next season anyway because Cavani is staying. So I think because Ollie won't drop Rashford, he loves Rashford. So and you have to play Cavani, but Cavani can't play like every single game more than twice a week.
I can't see Martial accepting to be on the bench when he's nearing his prime. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus Martial is on 250 a week.
Yeah, exactly. How are you gonna bench him?
What he did before, I think, was play Martial on the left and play Rashford on the right, and then Cavani up top, and that can work. But I think that Martial's form was just so bad that he had to play Pogba on the left, and obviously Greenwood can obviously come in and do his thing. Personally, I would play Rashford on the left and play Greenwood on the right because Greenwood is much better on the right than Thingy. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, long story short of it, I don't see all the talk of United with getting Kane is just paper talk. I'd ignore it. Realistically, if Kane is going to go anywhere this summer, it can only really be to Chelsea or Manchester City. And we already know he's not going to go to Chelsea. So
yeah, Chelsea and Tottenham don't do business, so he will never come to Chelsea. And for Man City, if Man City gets Kane for 150 million, that means they're serious to win this league for the next 5 years. Because if they get Kane, forget about the Premier League next season.
But maybe because it's just financially just doesn't make any sense. Because we're already far ahead. Why would we spend? But maybe they would. I don't know. Is it because Aguero's replaced? But
yeah, but I don't really see Kane going to City though. 150 million for a 28-year-old this year.
And does Kane really play the style that, or could he fit into the style that Kane? Because Kane for me is more like an Aguero type player, which was never really Pep's style anyway.
Yeah.
He prefers that coming in the midfield, so pass and move, etc., etc. He can play a bit, Kane, but I don't know.
Yeah, but if Kane comes to Chelsea, spending 150 million for me is just a waste of money. We got we need 3 positions to be filled in. 150 million on one player. I'd rather get Lukaku for 70 and get a midfielder and a centre back than get Kane for 150.
Based on what? Why is it a waste of money? Because it depends on how the team performs after they bought him. So you can't just make that assumption that it's a waste of money.
But if you watch Chelsea regularly, it's not like people say we create a lot of chances, but do we create clear-cut chances though?
Yeah, but even when you say you don't create clear-cut chances, sometimes it also has to do with the fact that you don't have a top striker who is actually like moving in the right directions that make those clear-cut chances possible.
Possible, yeah. I agree
Because
with
people
Sam.
forget that even Cavani, you can notice it in Cavani. Manchester United always created clear-cut chances, but the guy's movement, and that's something with Kane too, his movement, his experience, all those things matter. And I'm not saying that, Chelsea maybe they need a better midfielder, but adding Kane to it when you're dealing with Kai Havertz, who is basically learning how to be a false nine, or dealing with Tammy Abraham, who is learning, the difference is very clear compared to someone like Kane, who has been playing it. And another thing with Kane is he's 27. Strikers nowadays, they can play at the highest level. How old is Cavani? They can play at the
34.
highest level to 34, 35. It's not like football has changed that, 30 is your limit, and from 30 it's downhill. That doesn't happen anymore.
But
Can I just ask you a question? Can we consider Kai Havertz as one of the flops of the season now?
No.
Can I be
No,
considered?
I think
No.
we can. I don't think it's a big deal. Like, if it's a flop,
Nah,
it's a
Hakim
flop.
Ziyech,
What the-
Timo Werner, nah.
Surely
Nah, man, you guys take flops too
No.
serious, because if it's a
I'm
flop
not saying
this season,
flop.
No.
it doesn't mean
No.
it's not gonna be better next season. It doesn't mean it's not gonna be better next season.
Flop doesn't mean trash, but it's like for the hype and for the amount. That's what for me flop is, for the hype and the amount that's invested. So for me,
You're saying he's flop of the season.
Thiago, Werner, and Havertz 3 have to be in that consideration, given the hype that came with it, the amount that was paid.
And
Those
Van de
3
Beek. Don't forget
players-
Van de Beek.
Van de Beek?
the thing is, it's
You
difficult
better
with
say
Van de
Van de
Beek
Beek.
because he's not.
No.
Because
How's
he's,
it different? No.
because he's not.
He's been a
No,
flop.
because he's not played. Because he's
No,
not
No,
played.
There's a reason.
So like,
There's a reason he's not playing.
That's still a flop. That's still a reason to be a flop.
No. Red, you have to
Almost
put Van
barely
de Beek
played
there.
this
yeah,
season.
no,
You need to
I
Van de
can
Beek
put
there.
it. I can put it. But the only thing I'll separate it with those is that, like, you can't put Van de Beek on the same class as Werner because Werner has literally played.
now Werner's finished, man.
games.
Werner's finished.
I can.
And-
Yeah, but there's a difference between being a flop and being a trash footballer. Like the thing with the Havertz and the thing with the Van de Beek is
Werner's
that
not
a
trash. He's
flop
not
is
trash.
when you have underachieved in relation to your expectation. And
But
then
you have to
there's
consider
players like
age though.
Timo Werner that's
21-year-old.
trash, you know what I mean?
He's 21. I consider Werner a flop more than Kai. Kai's 21. He's younger, adapting to a new league. But we bought Werner to bag goals for us. So Werner's more.
He bought Kai. What did you buy Kai to? You bought Kai to create. He's a
I don't
£100
agree.
million
You bought Kai
creator.
You bought Kai for 100 million, bro. Like he's been a flop.
Yeah.
No, the thing people need.
He's not a
62
flop.
million.
I don't.
People
62
need
million
to stop this
plus 10
Werner
million
hate.
bonuses if we win the
People need to
Champions League.
stop this Werner hate.
Well, I
seriously.
see
People
more
paying 100 million
Kai
for him.
than
I
do
never
Werner.
really understood.
No. It's when you say it's not that these players are for me, like, flop, it always comes to the amount that you paid in combination with the hype or the anticipation that was generated by that team. So on the converse,
We paid 62 million for Kai Havertz.
What is the time duration to determine if somebody is a flop?
For this season is a flop.
just for this season. So, for
I
example,
agree with that. For this season, it's been a flop. Let's be real.
so for
I wouldn't
Cavani,
say
for
he's been a
example,
flop.
Cavani was Cavani was free, didn't cost anything, and obviously produced. So you can say, oh, that's one of the signings of the season because given the amount that was paid, which was nothing, and what he produced and how he performed, that's a good signing of the season. So it's that. I see it as that combination. You know, if you're paying you can't say that when you pay £100 million to a player and there's anticipation to provide. Yes, I get it's his first season, but the reality is that he didn't deliver even a quarter of that anticipation.
But Ray, can I ask you a question? If this Champions League final, Kai Havertz scores the winning goal, this is a big assumption. Would you still call him a flop?
Yeah.
No.
In a sense, yeah, it's not.
I would say a flop.
But it's the same thing like people saying
I would
because
say a
Timo
flop.
Werner got an assist or goal against Real Madrid. he's now
No,
somehow
that is wrong. That is wrong. If he actually wins the Champions League for Chelsea, you're gonna call him a flop.
Guys, flop is a very powerful word.
It's just like,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's like how I was seeing on Twitter because Timo Werner he scored an assist against Real Madrid in the CL that somehow he's now a better player than Cavani
No.
over the season. It's like no, that can't be.
We're not saying
But
that.
flop
No one
is a
here is saying that.
powerful word.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but no, yeah.
No, but let's be real. What did Cavani do in the Champions League even? Because he's shining his feet in the Europa League, and everyone now is like,
But let's
I think he was
calm down
injured.
with that
I think he was injured.
Now he cost PSG in that remontada. Remember, missing how many chances?
no,
that game.
because when a player is balling in the Champions League, sometimes I really suspect them. But like at the end, if you're telling me that Kai Havertz, and this is an assumption, I'm just saying it. You're telling me after the season we bought a 70 million player and we win the Champions League and he scores the Champions League goal that gets us through, you're still gonna say he's a flop for that season?
He's a flop.
Come on.
I would say
What
he's a
should he
flop.
do?
I
What
wouldn't
should
even
he
say
do?
he's a flop. What do
He
you
should
expect?
score every
What do you
game.
expect of Kai Havertz
No.
anyway? What do you expect of Kai Havertz anyway? Like what numbers am I?
I mean, what did you expect of 100 million? What did you expect of $100 million player?
He was
21 years of age. He's just signing for the future.
What do you mean though?
He was brought in. I was on the assumption. I could be wrong. I wasn't the only, but I was brought in the assumption that Kai Havertz was brought in to create for the front three. That was the assumption I was for Kai Havertz. He wasn't brought in to score tons of goals. That was the assumption I thought.
Red. He's a young player. He's a young What about player his age? signing What for the about his future, age? in my opinion. He's young, man.
No,
He's a
but
young player
let's
for
be real.
signing
When we
for
bought these
the
players,
future.
when Chelsea bought these
Come on
players, they had an objective, which is okay, win a trophy, and the biggest trophy, arguably, for Chelsea to win is that Champions League. So you're telling me that if they actually win it with all these players they bought, you will still say that and these players actually contributed in some way to getting that target. You'd say at the end of the season that they were flops because what? They didn't score.
Guys, can we define flop? Can we define flop?
Because you look at
flop.
A flop is somebody who doesn't achieve what you expect them to achieve. and you also have to factor in their age. So you factor in how much they were bought for, what
Thank
you
you.
expected them to do, and then you factor in.
And the hype that came from them as well. I think that's
Yeah,
an important point. So
So
no,
Werner would still be
Is
a flop no matter
Martial a
what.
flop?
hmm?
Is Martial a flop?
You can't say how
Yeah.
Is Martial a
What
flop?
for when this season? Absolutely, but last
No,
season
I'm
he was
talking. I'm
the
saying
highest
for
his
his
whole
whole career.
United
His whole
career.
That's not how it
career.
works.
His whole career.
His
But
whole
that's
That's not
United
how it
career.
works.
Huh? But
It
the whole,
is.
That's
It
not
is.
how it
It
works,
is.
Red. You can't say he was a flop this season and
no, but
really
we're
good
talking.
Nah.
But the context question was: has my question on issue was this season? I never said, "Oh, is he going to be next season?" I said
His whole
this
career.
season, given the
And
investment,
then I
the
His
hype.
whole
wouldn't use the
career.
word flop. I
Hmm?
wouldn't use the
His
word
whole
flop.
career.
No.
No, but yeah, exactly. Martial's whole career, he's been a flop. Let's be real.
Marshall's
He's
Yeah,
been a flop.
he's been a
I
He's
flop.
been a flop.
He's been a
wouldn't say
flop.
it's
He's
been
been
a
a flop.
flop.
Okay,
Come
so
on,
yeah,
now
Oh,
you're
come on,
attacking
man.
definitely
Red.
biased.
Nah,
There
you're
is
not
Yeah,
definitely
yeah, yeah.
bias.
Red
Okay,
bias.
yes.
Red
There's so
bias.
much
Red
bias.
bias.
Understand, I
How can you
understand,
say
I
Martial's
understand what
career
you
You see
guys
the
are
way,
saying.
hey, guys. You see the way I caught him out, guys. You see the way I caught him
Hold
out.
up.
Yeah,
Good one,
What's-
good one,
hold
man.
up.
And
Good
What's
one,
your
good one.
Martial is not
definition?
a flop.
No,
Guys,
but what's your
hold on.
definition? You just said Martial's a flop. I'm like, okay, the whole season. Okay, what was your expectation of Martial
Reddy's been a
coming
flop.
in?
Reddy's been a
You
flop.
don't
I
define
said,
flop
oh,
season
you're
by
saying Kai's
season.
not a flop. I'm like, my
His,
expectation was he was going to this.
No, you
He
know the
was young.
thing. I think this is really
Martial came
subjective.
in at
Meaning,
21 or something. What was the expectation that he was
no,
they was
no,
going
no,
to
no,
score 40 goals a season? Was that what?
Reddy,
no,
Reddy's been a flop. Come on.
But he won
no.
Young
yes,
Boy, the Golden Boy award.
No. My point is like, what was the when you say a flop? What was the expectation from Martial?
Red,
Give me what
Martial
my
should have
expectation.
Martial should have
hold
been
on,
a
hold on, Red.
serial. Should have been a serial player. He should be a serious player. When you think about top players in the Premier League, Martial should be one of the first players.
He
You
should
think
be on the
that's
same level with
my
what?
Rashford right now.
expectation when
Doing
He
he
should
was
be on
what?
the same level with
He's
Rashford
better
right
than
now.
Rashford.
He should
Doing
even be better,
He should be
arguably.
popping in with
No,
goals and assists. He
no,
should
Red,
be
Red. Let me ask
Which
you
he
a
has
question.
he should be
been.
popping in with goals and
Red,
assists.
Red. Let me ask you a question. I feel
Yeah,
this is
go
really
on.
Come on,
subjective in the
Okay,
sense
go
that
on.
this guy is serious.
you didn't have high expectations for Martial, so you feel every United fan didn't have that high expectation for him. Just like maybe you had just like maybe you had very high expectations for Kai Havertz, and other Chelsea fans were like, "Oh, this is a 4 or 5 year project because of his age."
This is what I did. This is why I say keeping to this season, because we're looking at comparing one season to four. If you look at last season, for example, I'd say Martial was the highest scorer for Manchester United, but no one says that. And then the previous season under Van Gaal, who was also the highest scorer, and they won the FA Cup or something. But obviously, in the context of Martial's season, when you look at the fact that Mourinho basically said, "Get lost," and also, by the way, Mourinho who also benched Pogba as well. So I'm not hearing, "Oh, he should have been." No, this dude benched Pogba for freaking Fellaini. So
Pogba's also been a flop. Let's be honest, though.
Nah, I want to go that.
Is that question there? Can we say that? No, can we say that, dude? That's the question. I'm not saying yes or no.
Wait,
Can we
wait,
get off the
wait,
budget
wait, 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 wait,
for that
For
hype?
Pogba's price tag.
The hype?
For
Red
Pogba's
Devil, you
price
talking about
tag.
hype.
The Pogba, okay,
And hype.
Red Devil.
His price tag and hype.
Yeah,
You
said
can
hype.
argue he's been a flop.
Then-
You can argue that, man.
No,
He's been a flop.
NK, you're on fire
okay.
today,
For
man.
what?
You're on
Okay,
fire
okay.
today,
Let me make it. Okay, this is my argument. This is the thing. This is what's important. This is why you can't compare sometimes United to Chelsea. Chelsea this is the thing. Part of the reason why when you look at these players like Martial, like Pogba, okay, is that yes, okay, you're right. Individually, okay, fine. I will concede the argument that if you think that the only way that Manchester United could win a Premier League or Champions League is if Pogba basically carries the whole team to a Champions League final, and that you don't think that it requires a whole team to be able to do that. The reality is that Manchester United, we've seen several times that the team that is around is a reason why now that Bruno Fernandes has come into this Manchester United team, that Pogba and Bruno play better, clearly. So the reason why I criticize Chelsea to a certain extent City this much is that it's not like you've been like a West Ham or been like a Leicester where like, right, okay, we get in maybe one, maybe two good players. You spent 200 million on getting 8 new signings. You had multiple signings beforehand with a specific objective of winning the league. So you brought in a Kai Havertz so that you could bring him in so that he could provide assists for someone like Werner to score.
You're under the wrong.
You bring in a
Red Devil,
No.
Red Devil,
Yeah.
I do get what you're saying, to be honest with you.
I
You
don't.
had a
know.
transfer ban, bro.
What I'm saying is that you're saying Pogba is a flop. What I'm saying, Pogba Marshall stop saying, yeah, okay, they're flops. If you think that if your expectation of Pogba was, this is why we
Dude,
can't have
Kai's only got
expectation.
3 months of solid playtime, and he's
Sorry?
only 21. 3 months of solid playtime under a proper
Red,
manager,
you know
and
the
he's
thing.
only
A lot of
21.
people don't understand.
So you're going
The
to take
thing- the
into
thing
account
with
the
this
injuries
argument-
that the United players, like I said, have also had during the time they've had? No.
But-
No,
I will
I'm
take
not
it
going to
into
take that into
account.
account. It's been a much longer
Listen.
period.
I will
Yeah,
take it. I'll take it into
exactly.
When they
account.
have
I'll
played,
take that. I'll
when they
take
have
that
played, it's been
into
ineffective.
account.
So you
I will
cannot
take that
come
into
here and make
account.
the claim.
I'll
with
take that into
canvases.
account.
I mean, to be honest, you
I'll
just can't
take- I'll
argue for the
Flop
fact
is a
that-
very powerful word.
No, it's
Flop
not
means the
good.
transfer has
Nah,
completed.
nah.
Ultimately, the thing about this argument is that we're comparing careers. It's easy to be like right now. Oh, look at the entire career. Are they a flop or not? And then look at individual season. My whole argument was just looking at the individual season. I've already said at the start, Martial's been a terrible gets out of flop this season, absolutely. But I can't then say last season when he was our highest scorer that it was a flop then because we needed him to get into the top four. So you got to give him props for that.
But Red,
So
Yeah,
it's
but-
contextual.
But listen,
You're
Chelsea
right,
had
you're
a
right.
transfer ban in 2019. We had to spend 250
We had a
million to
transfer
catch
ban
up to the
because he
rival.
broke the rule. I've got no empathy for that. You don't break the rule.
Yeah,
then.
No.
But
Red. The thing is that
But
you're-
Oli
in a way,
spent 300 mil. You can't disregard how much you spent too. You guys spent 300 mil too.
When did Ollie 300 million? 300 million. Account for the 300 million, please.
Oh, that's very easy.
On Ollie.
80
300
for
million.
Maguire, 50. I can count it
Maguire.
right now.
Okay. For free, you said 300, so account for it. 80 for Maguire, okay.
50 for what's his name again?
Wan-Bissaka.
Okay.
Wan-Bissaka.
50
40 for
Bruno.
60 for Bruno. 40 for
No, Bruno was not 60. Bruno was 40.
Bruno was 60. He
Oh my
hit
God,
50. He was
that's
50.
a lie.
If we're talking about Adams, then yes.
Come on now.
Oh my
Talking
God.
Adams,
Come on,
yes.
Come on, Red man. You
Let's
spent
not calculate
300 mil, bro. Where's Ollie's objective?
See.
Red,
There's no need of
No, keep
calculating
on.
this if we're
No,
going
keep
to
on.
be adding
No,
5
keep on
million,
going. You
10
said,
million.
okay, 80 something. Go on. So 80. So what? 50, so 80 for Maguire. What was it? 50 for Wan-Bissaka. Let's say
60
50
for
million.
no. It was 60 million because he had add-ons too. So
Yeah,
had
he
to
had
pay for
add-ons.
it. So 60 million. So that's
If you
60.
want to,
That's,
if you want to add on the add-ons,
that's
that's
200
fine. I can add on the
that's
add-ons to
210,
buy
yeah?
all the other players. But
Okay,
okay, fine.
no. That's 210 pounds, yeah. Plus
And the big 40.
Van de Beek
Van de
40.
Beek
That's
40.
250. Don't forget Dan James. That
Diallo
cost you
21. Diallo 21.
But
Diallo
Diallo 21. Come on, man.
Yes. Daniel James.
You guys spend
And
money.
what about that guy
Basically,
from
you haven't
Argentina?
got to 300
So you spent 300 million.
You had to add in
Yes.
Diallo, and you had to add in.
Aren't they
add-ons to
transfers?
even get
Aren't they
something.
transfers?
Not
They're
even
transfers.
take
What
into
you mean?
account the fact that
Aren't they
not even
transfers?
take into account the fact that we sold we sold
We're
the
not
car.
saying
Haven't
net
Chelsea sold
profit.
Eden Hazard, Morata?
How many trophies
Exactly.
Haven't
sold?
we sold Eden Hazard, Morata?
So can we take into account
Um,
our sellings?
The other guy to Atalanta. So you're contradicting yourself, my friend. We spent the money we made.
No. There's no need of continuing this argument. Red has been found out. It's
I'm not
obviously
being found
biased.
out.
It's like no. You
You're
said that you
obviously biased
made 80
here.
million from Lukaku, right? Chelsea made 160 from Hazard, from Morata, from some other guys we sold in the summer. So that doesn't make sense. Loan fees.
No, but Red.
You just
but Red-
contradicted
Is
yourself.
Lukaku the only player we've sold in that duration of time that you signed all those players that Ollie brought in?
I'm just trying to say what we signed. Like we sold 160 mil. Eden Hazard.
Okay.
What was it 58 mil for
Pasali,
Morata?
I don't exactly know. Is the point of this argument to say that Chelsea signed some? So what's
Oscar.
Guys, let's move on.
Let's let this go because it's
Yeah.
just it's getting a little bit
Who haven't
messy.
spoken about
Yeah.
Harry Kane? Who haven't spoken
I
about
want to speak about him real quick.
speak about Harry Kane. I know you don't like it. I know you have been on this boat.
No,
for a
Abdullah,
very long
I'm the one
time.
who
I know.
brought up this. I'm the one who brought up this stuff in
You
this
are the
channel.
one that brought up this Harry Kane stuff. So you have the floor now. So
Yeah, man. So for sure, you know the thing. I think Red was here when we were having this discussion, and I said all I want from Harry Kane is to show some ambition and actually push for a move. If Daniel Levy doesn't give him, if he doesn't give him, it's another thing. But I want to see it from him that he has that ambition that, oh yeah, you know what, I want to leave this club. I want to win trophies. If it doesn't happen, I'm cool with it. So I have more respect for him for sure, because it can't be nice seeing Jamie Vardy win a Premier League and an FA Cup, and you, Harry Kane, have nothing. Like seriously,
It's bad. It's bad.
But he
it's really
stayed.
bad.
But he's, to be fair to Vardy, he's like, I'm not saying the same, but like Vardy had, how many opportunities did Vardy have to leave? He stayed with the same club. He's been obviously been under different managers, and it was. At least what I'm saying is that again, it comes to the. You're right about the ambition thing, but it's not because Vardy had ambition. It's because Leicester City are a well-run club, and they obviously, with the stars line, they managed to get in a good manager to come and supplement that. And there's no guarantee necessarily that Kane, even if he leaves, will go to a team that has that, if that makes any sense. So I guess what I'm saying is it's not that it's a lack of Jamie. It's not that Vardy was ambitious. It's the fact that it's more the fact of the circumstances outside of him that gave him the success.
Yes. The only thing is that, just like you said earlier, that they're not the same, because I don't know, Kane has a more that's why I brought up Vardy, because Kane has a more like track record, and there's this more like, nah, this guy should be doing something.
I'm hearing some background stuff. Somebody mute yourself. Who's that person?
With Vardy, in a way, it's like he was like the guy at the age of 25 was not maybe even playing league football. So in a way, like Leicester, and then I don't know if you understand what I mean though, but I feel Kane has more of that. Oh man, like you're the main striker for England. You score goals like every season, and you have nothing to show for it. So, nah, man, it's good that he did this. If he comes, I think Chelsea right now, if they are smart, they should gamble on this guy. I'm a big fan of Tammy Abraham.
Just have gamble on him.
I wouldn't mind the swap deal with.
They don't want to sign.
No, wait, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't even mind the Tammy Abraham from plus cash for Kane. I don't know. Maybe Daniel Levy would actually look at that.
Doesn't it also depend on who's also the manager? I mean, this is the red herring, and I'll maybe put this into the whole argument when people speak. Is that doesn't it also depend on the manager that comes in? Because I'm assuming that Ryan Mason is not going to be Spurs manager coming in next season. So maybe some of this also depends on who is actually going to be the Spurs coach next season. And obviously, if that, let's be real, think about it. If you're applying for the Spurs job,
very true,
and you're thinking, right, okay. How does it feel? You're thinking, right? Yeah, I'm going to sell. How are you going to attract the best of the best if you're an owner saying, yeah, we're going to sell one of our best players?
No, but that's okay. Are you saying that Harry Kane might change his mind based on a new manager?
No. I'm saying that even adding another variable. I mean, he might, but I'm also adding in another variable to the fact that, from a Daniel Levy point of view, that you're not going. Let's say even he wanted to sell Kane, right? You're not going to advertise. If you wanted to get a top quality manager in, that you're in the process of potentially signing one of your best players if you want to compete, because essentially you're almost setting up the new manager not to fail but to struggle. Because obviously, the new manager
that would also depend on the manager, though. It would depend on if it's a high quality or high class manager, and how many high class managers are free right now. It's
Conte.
I think Spurs will actually.
It is, but I mean, it is. That's what I'm saying. It's like you wouldn't any high quality manager. That's what I'm saying. So I agree with you, and that's what I'm almost saying. Like getting, like you're almost saying. What am I trying to say? You're almost putting away a high quality manager, because a central manager is going to go. Exactly. Why on earth would I come and manage a Spurs side that's struggling and has now sold its best asset, and I'm not guaranteed to get good funds for good players?
But that's another thing. If they sell Kane, he would at least have the money to spend, because that's another way to look at it. If they sell Kane this season, it's not going to be cheap.
What team do you think is going to?
Million. At the end,
what team do you think is going to?
It's either Man City, the players, the teams who need. I would say United too, but this whole Cavani deal just in my way, it destroys the whole thing.
I've got a feeling he's going United, man.
No. Please, I've said
it's not gonna go to United.
They just signed a new deal. You know?
Don't believe the paper talk as well, guys. No, it's
like why do people like think United are gonna spend $100+ million on a player when all of last summer at the beginning of COVID they spent like 60 million 0-0. Like I don't know why people keep.
And that's
thinking,
not even net. That's not even net spend.
Yeah, bro. Like why do
But-
people keep thinking that United are gonna splash out 200 million in one summer? Like I don't.
Yeah,
get
but
that.
look at United's history regarding Tottenham's transfers. Berbatov,
Bro, we're in a pandemic.
Sheringham.
We're in a pandemic, bro.
That's
Huh?
really,
Always
that's extremely
can't
out
get
of context, my friend. Extremely out of context. You can't say look at United's history when they clearly just signed a new contract with Cavani, and I'm not
Exactly,
and,
that's
and they're
the main thing.
prioritizing
The
something. It's
Cavani
out of You
signing
can't say
is
history.
what took this whole Kane stuff away. Let's be real.
Nah, but
United
even
can
without
get that
Cavani,
money.
they would not spend 150 million on a 20-year-old man. It just
Facts.
doesn't make sense.
Man, maybe to you
So
it
who's
doesn't
gonna
make
buy
sense,
him then?
but
Who's gonna afford him?
That's why I don't think
No
he's
one. That's the problem.
Nobody.
no. But
Nobody.
let's not. This stuff. You know, sometimes when you
Maybe
talk,
Chelsea.
we'll see. But the fact is that right now, if he pushes for that transfer, and this is the time you see business like because clubs that need a striker like Chelsea, maybe Man City, they will be tested, and for sure.
But Jim, it's like we're saying. It's like I said even before the thing shown. Is like at the end of the day, he's not going to be sold for any less than 150. Erling Haaland is also the same.
Mhm.
And it's also ease as well. Like Dortmund, if Dortmund have basically said, "Give us 150 million, and we'll give you Erling Haaland, easy peasy." Daniel Levy is a stiff negotiator. You know that. So even just from the sheer difficulty negotiating, you're gonna take Erling Haaland easy over trying to negotiate and debate with Daniel Levy.
I feel we're making assumptions here though, because
But
Kane still has a lot of
based on
he has a lot of upside, and
because
in a way, we're basically saying now that if you give any club right now, Kane or Haaland, they would choose Haaland.
I think a lot of clubs would. Is
They
that
would.
strange?
They
No,
would,
no,
'cause
no.
they-
I like the
Haaland
fact
will
you said
retain
a
his
lot,
value,
but
bro.
in a way, we're saying every club would.
Yeah, Haaland will retain his value. Harry Kane, if they spend 150 million now on him, like in 4 years' time, he's gonna be worth 40 million at max.
Yeah, but you're only looking at the bad side from Harry Kane. With Harry Kane, you're also getting someone who has been in the league, who's been scoring goals, who is more experienced. So all these things do matter. And if you're a
He's
club
also
that
been out injured though. He's also been out injured for quite some
everyone
time.
gets injured, everyone, even Haaland gets injured too. That
Yeah,
doesn't really. At the end,
but he's
rotation
injury
and all
prone
that.
with his ankle.
No,
Like he
he's not
has a
injury prone. He's the only striker in that team. Let's be real. Kane plays every game. He shouldn't be playing that many games in Tottenham. He needs a
he
team
is
that will
still
actually
injury
rotate
prone
him.
though.
That's why you have a striker, bro. No one plays 4-4-2. Like you need that one striker that can play 50 games every season, man.
So you think Haaland can play 50 games every
Yeah,
season?
obviously. That's what he's been doing at Dortmund, bro.
That's why you need a rotation.
But he gets injured too. Haaland has been injured for a while.
and
too.
he's back
was
already.
injured 2 weeks in
And
December.
you know the easy part. Alan is young. He can recover. He's
That's the
20 years
thing.
of age. He's
It's
very
all
young.
about age. It's like
He's young.
you know, we know
Another
a
thing,
player
we'll see,
28
though.
that when everyone was so gone.
Yeah. At the end, that's the nice thing with this summer is we'll see actually if all these
We'll
things
see,
that
yeah.
we're talking about will pan out. But yeah, in my opinion, I do feel that if a club is looking for a more finished a more finished player, a more experienced player, and is actually thinking of okay, let's get for like a title challenge next season. And I know a lot of people are
But
saying
whoever gets Kane,
is when you sometimes when you buy players, sometimes it's about not how much can I sell this player in the next 5 years. Sometimes it's okay, how much do I think this player will add to my team that will make us dominate and actually
bro,
win.
that's very much depending on how the owners look at things. So obviously, if you're Bram or City,
Of course.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it's for sure. I'm
but
not
if
saying
you're like the Glazers or Kroenke, it is literally like how much can I make from such a player and
from
how much
reselling
can I lose
them.
in pockets.
From reselling them.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's the thing. So yeah, man, I'll be excited about Kane transfer if it
Do
pans out.
you guys even think he's gonna move? Like, not which club. Do you think he's going to move?
That is,
That's why I said it
I love what
depends
Sam said. I love what Sam said. This is how we want to see the ambition of Harry Kane himself. If you're this kind of prolific number 9 we have been seeing for a very long time in England, get the hell out of it. I'm serious. Get the heck. Just
But
if
that's
it's
what I
gonna
was
take
saying,
time.
Do you really think it's in his hands?
but doesn't it? Let's say, for example, that Spurs announced Allegri as a new manager as a statement of intent. That's what I'm saying. Doesn't it depend on if they get supposedly a good quality manager that comes in Does that not change things?
But
No
you know why,
manager is
you know why
moving
it
the
wouldn't
needle.
change anything too much is that Harry Kane has been there. He's seen Mourinho come there. Like in a way, how many?
Yeah,
This is what I'm saying about the mentality is that how many
Mourinho.
times will you give Tottenham this? Oh, okay, this time it's gonna be different. It's like a girl that her guy cheats on every time, and she's like, oh, he said sorry. This time will be different. Nah, if it's been happening like that, sometimes it's good to just have a change. So I
But
think
he's
it's gonna
only
be his mentality
he's only
for
been
sure.
under Pochettino, who, to be fair, got them to a Champions League final. And if it wasn't because Kane was injured, they might have even won it. And then obviously Mourinho, who, let's be real, it was done at the highest level by the time he went to Spurs. So,
Well, you think Allegri is not done? Because that's another thing. It's another assumption.
well, I
Okay,
don't know.
like Red, if it was you, what would you do in Kane's position? Would you stay if an Allegri was coming? Would you give them another chance?
Allegri's not going Tottenham, man. He's going Real.
He might, yeah. I mean, I think just based on the obviously, as a player, I want to go and win trophies. So, of course, as a player, I want to leave. Of course, I want to play at the best club ever. You know, I've said in an ideal world, I think going to PSG would be a good idea. You know, so you could go in, play with Mbappe, Neymar, create chances, probably will win the Liga next year, and will certainly compete in the Champions League. Bada bing, bada boom. But Kane himself has said, oh, I want to stay in England. So for me, he's restricted himself by saying, I want to stay in England, because I think if he opened his horizons and was happy to go to like a Liga, maybe Bundesliga, or even a league, La Liga, I think there's certainly teams there, like even Atletico Madrid. I know Suarez is balling, but I still think that if you're talking about another good striker for the how many years, maybe even freaking in Barcelona. You know, I know they're linked with Aguero on a free, but I think Kane could do bits of Barca.
Bro, we cannot afford that.
Dude, Red, Barca are courting Depay and Aguero. Relax.
Yeah.
Well,
You know another thing, Abdullah, one thing I just want to add. This Chelsea team, I do not think we need another baby in Haaland. We have enough baby in Mason Mount, Kai Havertz. All these guys are just too young for my like. I would like a number 9 who is in his prime. Just gamble, make that gamble. If it doesn't work out, you know you tried your best. But this whole let's have all these small young guys that need 5 years to be at their prime. Like
I'm tired of that.
I'm tired
would
of
you
it.
would you take back?
Sam, what about
take back
Lukaku?
Higuain?
Why?
Nah,
Move,
man.
move,
Red. You see your agenda. You would never say this about United.
United, man. Come on, man.
Like Anish has been saying, I'm
Oh my
attacking
days.
football club, but now you want to
Abdullah, you see that picture I sent to you?
Aguero, I saw it.
Higuain was on a almost 10-game goal drought in the MLS.
What?
That's the player you want us to ring.
Excuse me.
Blue Eyes, give me your take on Harry Kane.
What?
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, Harry Kane, man. I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm just more concerned about tomorrow's game.
Well, because based on the news, Harry Kane literally handing a transfer and said, I want to leave. It's like in Africa now. When something don't tire you, go say, Male, Pale, Auntie, Uncle.
Exactly.
I think it's time for me to just take my all out in this house, man. I need to leave it.
But you know what? What I commend what he did. It's a ballsy move, for lack of a better way to put it. If you remember, Van Persie almost did the same thing when he went to Man U from Arsenal,
and he won the Premier League title.
Exactly, and I think he had a nagging injury too. I think so. At that time,
Torres,
I think there was
leaving Liverpool to Chelsea, won the Champions League, won the Europe. So it's worked out for some players.
Exactly. So, and this is the right time. And Van Persie did it and succeeded. But I'm just saying, for Harry Kane, it's a statement of intent. I think it's very clear and distinct. He might end up staying at Tottenham, but right now is who is going to play the bigger card. And if Chelsea wins the only thing I got to say is this will all sound better if we win the Champions League. We can just go get him. Because remember, the last time we won the Champions League, we got Eden Hazard. From those kind of transactions.
But Blue Eyes, I get. But the problem is Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy is a mafia bastard. Sorry for my language.
He would take you to the cleaners, man.
Sorry for my language. Sorry for my language, but Daniel Levy is the guy you don't want to. You don't. It's like see, Ganaskia and Daniel Levy are the same thing. You don't know. You don't want to talk to Ganaskia and you don't want to talk to Daniel Levy. Both of them are the same thing because you know when you're having a problem with Ganaskia, I'm sorry, we can't negotiate. It's a problem for me already. So that's what the problem. Chelsea will pay the money, but the problem is Daniel Levy and Ganaskia.
I would negotiate. But Abdullah, to be honest with you, if we win the Champions League, which will be the ideal situation, I wouldn't mind Harry Kane on a 1-year contract. Just short term.
Harry Kane is 27. It's 27. So
get him for 1 year. Give him the money.
If you're gonna pay 150 million for Harry Kane, you better sign 5 or 6 years, and you better deliver instantly.
I think with Harry Kane, you can get what you if you get 30% of Harry Kane, especially in a better offensive platform scheme.
Yeah,
you get more out of his performance. If you understand what I mean.
If Chelsea eventually gets him, it will play less matches. You know why? Because
exactly.
You'll be able to in Tottenham it doesn't get the rest. It does not get the rest. It doesn't. That's why people are just saying injury. I get that. It doesn't get the rest in Tottenham. It plays one match today. Carabao Cup, Harry Kane play. FA Cup.
In a way, I have to say that he has a very good record, even playing, because the way that guy plays is too much for
But efficiency, efficiency at the end of the day, you still have to manage your players, right?
Yeah, exactly. I get that. So, Chimere,
what about Lukaku?
I will talk about that. Easy.
Abdullahi, what about tomorrow's game?
We'll talk about that. Don't worry.
Abdullahi, just one thing quickly. Do you think Harry Kane? Do you think he's a big game player, or do you think he disappears in big games? Because if you think back at the Champions League run that they got to the final, you remember?
He was injured.
He was injured.
Was he injured in the quarterfinal? I know he was injured.
It was the quarterfinal, semi-final. He was injured.
He was injured.
Yeah. It was Son who stepped up.
Just to add something on these big game players, I know Chelsea are used to that because we had Drogba, who is arguably the biggest big game player. But sometimes too in a team, you need a player that can just score in those rainy nights in Stoke that will gather points for you to actually title challenge. So, like, I'm not saying that he's a big game player. He might change, but at the end, what Chelsea needs is a consistent goal scorer.
He's a big game player.
It's about consistent goal scoring. If you look at all the players in Chelsea right now, none of them are consistent goal scorers.
No.
They score one, and then maybe 3 games later they score another one. It's not consistent. But Harry Kane,
yeah, but bro, it's worrying because I just noticed Harry Kane, he disappears in many big games, and that's worrying.
That's a good you are very right with what you said. But my issue is in Chelsea. The Chelsea just have they don't care about this big name stuff. Once you go to Chelsea, you gotta deliver. That is why you've been bought into the club. You have to deliver. Don't you do not care about you gotta have to deliver. Exactly.
Because if you look at these big games, that's 6 games. I'm not saying that it's not important, but at the end, you still have how many games to play with this other bottom?
That's 12 games.
Bro, he's a
12 games, yeah, home and away. But
and not just that, you saw him in the final against City, man. My guy disappeared completely, and you guys.
It was disinterested to even play that match. If you look at the way,
come on, man. Yes, playing with Winks and Højbjerg, bro. What do you expect?
Now,
I get that.
Most of them
wow.
you know. So
give me your take on Harry Kane officially putting the transfer out that I want to leave.
I mean, it's unfortunate for him because he's not going anywhere. So, but as far as
you're a bad person. You're a bad person. How can I put the transfer out and eventually I sit down? It makes me look ridiculous, man.
But as far as whoever you buy, man, like there's gonna be a chance it won't work. There's gonna be a risk. So there's no such thing as a perfect sign unless you're signing Messi or Cristiano. So like it is what it is. If you think Harry Kane's the player to take the club to the next level, whatever they ask, you pay it. That's just the reality, you know. But as far as Man City, I don't see Man City going for him because they don't need him. It's not a necessity. You know, I think they're going to the Champions League final and they won the Premier League without really having a striker. So are they going to go now? If they have a chance to get him for the price they want, they'll get him. But I don't think they're going to go overboard to sign him, you know. because it's not a pressing need. I think they'll go for other areas. But if you guys remember, Tottenham sold Kyle Walker to Man City, so I think they will sell him to City if there's a chance. Man U, I don't really think we need him, to be honest with you. Not because because I mean, honestly though, let's be honest here. Like any like let's say Harry Kane is one of the best strikers in the world. So most teams are gonna go for him. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Like, let's not kid ourselves. Like so if he's available, when's the time you can get one of the best strikers in the world? Like, come on.
This is the time that you gotta get it.
Like,
You have the money, go for it.
I'm saying the Man U, like I'm sure like I mean I would like a Man U, but I don't really think we need him because attack is not the issue. The attack is fine. So,
but
like,
there's a lot of how to spend money on buying a actual number 9.
Yeah, as far as Chelsea, he's not going to Chelsea. We know he's not. So Liverpool won't sell him to Chelsea.
And it will not make that mistake. It will never make that mistake.
And I don't think Harry Kane wants to go abroad. So it's just unfortunate he put in a transfer request, but he's staying. Now as far as Harry Kane,
But Miri, you forgot one thing though. Tottenham is in debt.
No, man, that's terrible, but still not going nowhere. But I mean, as far as Harry Kane and whatnot, like I don't know, dude. Like, I think he is a big game player because you look at his record in the Champions League, he scored against every big team. He scored against Barcelona, scored against Real Madrid, scored 2 goals against Juventus. When they were down 2-0, he scored the 2 goals to bring them back in the game. He scored. Let's see who else. He scored against Dortmund. He scored against all the big teams they played against. He scored every single game. So I think he is a big game player. You know, I mean, he's playing for Tottenham. Like, come on, like, what is a big game to Tottenham? Like, I'm not trying to any Tottenham fan watching. I'm sorry, but what is a big game to Tottenham? Let's be honest. Like, so as far as Harry Kane, I mean, let's be honest. Most teams are going to go for him if he's available. Like, with any team in the world, we'll be happy to have him. He's one of the best strikers, also one of the best players in the world. Like, I can't name 10 players better than him right now in football, to be honest. So, yeah.
Yeah, and just to add to Chimeri's stuff, maybe he's doing this transfer request stuff so that he's basically telling them, I'm not going to sign a new contract. And then maybe next year they would have to sell him. If not, he goes for free. So this might be a longer, like, he might be looking at maybe, okay, probably they won't allow me to go this summer, but next summer they will have to start thinking of a new striker. And then if I have 1 more year left.
Chimera. Levy, we would even told that Levy sold Christian Eriksen with 4 months of his contract left for 20 million.
Oh, yeah. He sold Luka Modric that was already at the transfer with Chelsea already done deal.
Yeah,
he said no.
He sold him for Chelsea were offering 60. He sold him for 30 to Real Madrid.
Exactly.
So
man.
He's not selling anybody. I'm saying he'll sell maybe to City. I don't think he's going to sell to anybody else.
No. I'm not even saying this for like Chelsea, or I'm not saying this for Chelsea particular. I'm just saying maybe Harry Kane is looking more like, okay, guys, I'm not signing a new contract. So at one point in time, you guys will have to either sell me or I go for free.
But he signed 2019. He signed a 5-year contract though.
Yeah, but it remains 2 now.
And also just it's that reason why I brought up the example is the idea that like he would rather, because I'm sure there were Premier League clubs that were interested in getting Christian Eriksen as well.
Yeah.
United. So it's the idea like that Daniel Levy would rather a player
go for free,
a loss or for free, then go to a direct rival. Is the point?
The dude's a prick. Yeah.
The big stumbling block for me has always been the fact that Kane wants to stay in England, and if Kane wants to stay in England and then also compete for trophies, then he can only really go to 4 clubs: Liverpool, United, Chelsea, and City. He's not going to go to Liverpool because Liverpool are broke and they can't. Liverpool definitely spend 100 million. He's not going to go to United.
Okay, let me paint this scenario. Let me see. Hypothetically, let's say we win the UCL. Can that change Harry Kane's and Daniel Levy's mind and say, okay,
it's not Harry Kane, it's Daniel Levy, bro.
It's Daniel Levy. That's
my problem. I say Harry Kane is already put on the transfer.
If anything, it's even
Daniel Levy is the problem.
It's more.
Daniel Levy will look at it and go. Let me put scenario. Do you think Levy will let him go for free than to sell him to Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then that could happen too. Then, well, if he's okay with that, then because this is what I'm saying, that I think he might be planning to go for free, where he will make the decision for the club he wants to go to.
I don't know, bro. Don't
Because
be
anything can
surprised.
happen.
Free.
Because
That means 3 years later.
it's free, but he
Don't
has
be
two.
surprised
He
if
has
he signs a new
I
contract.
think it's 2 years. I don't think it's
yeah.
he has
Because he has
2 more
two.
years.
Because he has 2 more years left, and then Chelsea
Yeah.
now. Because at the end of the day, like, so you're saying he goes to Chelsea. So does that mean that
No,
Chelsea?
I'm not
can
saying
wait?
Chelsea. I'm saying he makes the decision of because in a way now we're talking about Levy making the decision where Kane will go. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm saying that maybe he runs out his contract so he can make that decision.
Yeah.
And it's not it's Chelsea. Or
He
Yeah,
better
that's
on- he
3
better
years.
on-
what I'm saying is that, like, obviously, this is on the assumption that, like, in like Chelsea, all these Premier League teams, because remember, Kane has said, "I don't want to leave the Premier League." So Kane, all these clubs that he wants to go to in the Premier League, that they're going to basically wait for 2 years for Kane to basically get sorted. I mean, maybe United might, because obviously we signed Cavani for a year deal, and maybe we might bring in Kane in, so United might be an option. But I don't think that Chelsea or City or the like, for example, are going to wait 2 years to sign now.
Bro, he has
What,
3
30
years
plus?
contract. 3 years left.
He's got
3 years
3
left?
years left.
Yeah, 2024, bro.
Yes,
What?
They don't have
Yeah.
to sell. They don't have to sell him.
That's what I was telling you. I checked
Why are
it.
we talking about this? If it's 2020, no.
Oh, he's not.
If it's
leaving.
2024,
He's not
why are we
leaving.
talking about this? He's
He's
not.
not leaving.
2024?
Yeah,
Come
it's
on, 3
24.
years.
I'm sorry, he's not living.
No,
No,
but
what's
this
the point?
is my problem with Kane too. Who in their right sense would sign a 7? Like,
Come on.
no,
No,
I
it's
think
6 years contract, bro.
6 years. 6?
I mean, you gotta think from his point of view though. Like at that time, he thought Tottenham was heading in the right direction. He was young. You know?
Yeah, of course.
And he was the, and he's the
Wait,
main
when did he
guy.
sign the
You know what I'm
contract?
But this
saying?
is
When
but this
did
is
he
what,
sign the contract? Where?
but this is what Levy does. This is what I'm saying. Levy's smart. Levy doesn't do this whole 2-3 year contract thing that a lot of big owners does. For a lot of he will purposely sign young players, academy players. If you look at the contracts of Ali, Son, all the rest of them, even Ericsson and so on, they will be on contracts that have been anywhere between 5 to 7 years. That's what he does. That's how he does his business. And
So he's a Suge Knight of the Premier League.
pretty much.
That's
Listen, give me your take on that.
He's not going. Why are we talking about? If he's got 3 years, why are we even talking about this? He's not going anywhere.
This guy's not leaving, man.
Exactly. Harry Kane putting the transfer. Listen, do you see him going to PSG because of Mauricio Pochettino? And no. Mr. Tosin, unmute your mic, man. Unmute your mic. Tosin, unmute your mic.
He's not
I
here.
don't think it's there, man.
Let's move.
Yeah.
I want to
Yo,
talk
wait,
about.
will you hit me up? Will you hit me up?
Where did you go before? Were you in Siberia or what are you doing?
My bad. I was doing something. Yeah,
Harry
what were you asking? What were you
Kane
asking?
has put in a transfer request that he wants to leave. Now I'm hearing his contract is to 2024. I might let you know, that man is not living there. He better retire in Tottenham Hotspur, please. Retire there, please.
I mean, he can.
2024.
I mean, he could try. He can still try at the end of the day. So I don't think. Look, man, like the way I see it right now, there's only one club capable of getting him, and that's Manchester City. I don't see Chelsea getting him. I don't see Manchester United getting him after
Will Man
extending
City pay
Cavani.
150 for him? Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think they will. I think for the first time they'll just say "fuck it, let's do it." Because what I've been hearing, Pep has 2 targets for this season. 2, one midfielder, one forward. He wants Jack Grealish, and he wants a striker. His first option is Harry Kane. Those are the 2 players he wants. He actually legitimately wants them.
So definitely Harry Kane could go to PSG then.
Nah, he wants a left back too.
No. Oh, he probably wants to, but his main targets, his 2 main targets, are Jack Grealish and Harry Kane. No bull. Like I think the Telegraph reported it.
That's it. Then Harry Kane to Tottenham to PSG, I will not mind it.
No. Harry Kane is not leaving England.
If I'm honest,
Harry Kane is not leaving the Premier League.
Sorry to interrupt. Son Heung-min's contract actually ends in 2023, and if I'm honest, I'd rather go for Son when Son has only got 2 years on his contract rather than Harry Kane.
Nah, I wouldn't.
Son is not even a world-class player.
Yeah,
Why
I
would
wouldn't
you?
go for Son.
Son's a
He's
top
good.
player, man.
How does
He's
he
not
get
world-class.
Stop.
He's a good player, but I'm not breaking the bank for no Heung-min Son.
Wait, was we saying that people are able to pay 150 million for Harry Kane at 30?
He's not 30. He's 27.
He's going to be 30 by the time he's available.
Who cares? He's gonna
No,
be.
but
He's
then he would be
27.
free. What are you
That's your
saying, Red?
prime. He's in his prime
No,
years.
Red, you
He's
just made a big mistake. If he's 30,
Well,
that means his contract would be over. So they
oh
wouldn't
yeah,
be
of course.
150.
Yeah,
It
of
would be
course.
for
Yeah,
free.
of course.
Fair enough.
You get him for free.
Fair enough. I want to talk about another thing entirely. Another breaking is breaking out that Antonio Conte will leave Inter Milan this summer, and there is a possible chance of Chelsea going for Romelu Lukaku for 80 million euro. Chimere,
That's
come
who
to
you're
me with
getting.
this.
That's who you're getting.
Chimere, big. We call him Big Rome. Big Rome coming back to England. Romelu Lukaku.
I think that'll be a good sign if he comes back. You know, I think it'll be a good sign, honestly, because I mean he's better than Timo Werner. We know that. I mean, like, so he's better than Timo
Oh
Werner.
my days, worst player, man.
He's better than he's better than.
Did you
any
just
striker.
mention Timo Werner? Chimere has killed me, man.
He's better than any striker. He's better. But the only thing though, my thing is like, again, there's the thing. If you buy Lukaku, you got to change your system. Because he plays better in a two-tracker system, so you have to get something to play off him if you buy him. So you can't play him as a lone striker. That's not his strong.
It's not gonna work.
If you want to get the best out of him, if you want him to
gonna play two striker,
got to play a two-track system. And you got to find a player to play off of him. You know,
maybe Kai Havertz.
Man, Kai Havertz, dude, I don't know, dude. Kai Havertz to me is not. He's not a striker, man. To me,
it's like a number 10 for me. It looks like number 10.
It's like a number 10 to me. Like. So Lukaku, I think it'll be a good signing, but once again, it depends though. Have you guys done your scouting? Do you guys know who you're gonna buy to support him? What are your other summer targets? Like, it just depends. Like, because Lukaku himself, he might be a good player, but he might not be in control of himself flopping.
Guys, sorry to break you up. Based on the report from the United enters is that if Harry Kane wants to leave, they want a swap deal from either Manchester City or Tottenham or Manchester United or United. If Harry Kane goes to United, they will go. Tottenham Hotspur want Antonio Martial, and if Harry Kane goes to Manchester City, they will tell Manchester City, give us Gabriel Jesus and we'll give Harry Kane.
That is the report. That stuff's not true.
Where's that coming from?
United stand. Let me share it out.
Where is are they citing the Sun or something? That sounds like.
Let me share, guys. Let me share.
That's ketchup sauce, man. You can't really trust those.
Let me share. This is. So this is what I saw. I'm not sure. This is. Can you guys see very well?
Let's just tweet
not the most reliable source.
The Daily Mail, man. I mean,
there has been an acceptance at Tottenham for some time that Harry Kane will leave this summer. Recruitment staff already identify which player they might be able to take part exchange for. Both Manchester club, Antonio Martial and Gabriel Jesus.
Is Martial even better than Gareth Bale right now? Like, they don't. Like, I don't.
I mean, I just don't get both those. I mean, both of those players. I don't see how they can be. I'm assuming it'll be these players plus cash because Gabriel Jesus isn't going to make Spurs better. I don't think Martial would.
Martial can't, depending on the manager. They go.
Bro. We try, bro. There's been how many managers from Martial now, bro? He's what it is. He's what he is.
He was good. Van Gaal did well with him. So, but Mourinho and obviously Oli with the.
If I was Martial, I would actually leave United just to get it fresher. Sometimes it helps players like Lingard. I'm not saying
exactly.
I'm glad Chelsea didn't get Martial, man, because Mourinho wanted Willian.
I mean, was Willian any better? Let's calm down, though.
No, Willian was shit too, man. I can't lie.
Exactly.
Exactly. So I don't care.
So don't get towards this article. Right?
I mean, it's the Daily Mail, but like I can't believe that this is going to be. So when it says part exchange, there must be some money involved. So if they were to say that anti-Martial Spurs and we get Kane and something. I mean, the only thing again doesn't make sense. Like you've just given Cavani a year extension, so you're going to put Cavani on the bench for? I don't know.
You guys could go for the treble, though.
No, but let's be honest though. Cavani's going to be 34, 35. Like he shouldn't be the full-time starter.
Exactly.
He's not. It's not Cavani. It's also Greenwood as well. I thought that was the point of the idea. Is that because I think the assumption I had was that they want to make Mason Greenwood the next 2 to 3 years, the Manchester United number 9.
Yeah. if Man United gets Kane, yeah, what about the Sancho deal?
No,
You have to
Sancho
think
can,
about that too.
Sancho can stay where
No,
he
no,
is.
but Red, do you think Greenwood can be a number 9?
I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think Greenwood could be a number
100%,
9.
bro.
But
Absolutely.
but that means, but not next. But I don't think he's ready for next year to be the main guy.
Exactly. That's why I thought the Cavani. The reason why I thought that we didn't was we gave Cavani a year was the whole point of you got Cavani number 9 experience. Greenwood could continue to learn as he's been doing this season, and then when Cavani goes, maybe not necessarily the season after, or maybe he might be breakthrough. He'll be able to lead the front. That's why I thought we gave the extension.
The thing with Greenwood is he's a great striker and all that, but I think tactically sometimes you need a player like Cavani, and physically Greenwood doesn't just have those attributes. So, like, well,
but he's young, bro. He's 20.
Yeah,
no,
he's young, bro.
He plays better on the wings, honestly.
Like, let's be real. As a number 9, there's a reason Cavani has been playing that. Cavani has all the attributes. His heading, his just his presence in that box. Greenwood can never have that.
No. I wouldn't say never. I
but
mean,
is he going to grow taller?
Is he going to grow tall? Well, he's 20, so
maybe there's a possibility. Maybe then.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But even looking
to be a little bit bigger though.
What's what I'm saying? If you compare Greenwood, I know I don't want to sidetrack because obviously we're talking about fingers, but like if you actually compare Greenwood now to how he was in the previous season, like he definitely bulked up, so he's definitely not big. He's definitely more physical. He's not being bullied or being pushed off the ball like he was in the first season. His actual positional play has actually improved. Obviously, being on the right is obviously delivered obviously balls. He played that winging role. When he actually has played through the middle, unlike Marcus Rashford, who's never been a number 9, where he's performed. Who was that?
Wait, was that?
It's on mic. Mason Greenwood can actually his hold up play is much better than Marcus, and more importantly, his finishing in front of goal is also much better than Marcus Rashford. And I'd even argue Martial's to a certain extent because he's obviously 2-footed, which helps. But I agree, he's not ready for next season. But I just don't. My understanding from the Manchester United hierarchy and the board is that the whole point of giving Cavani extension, aside from his experience and his leadership, was that was going to obviously affect the young players. And I think that if you sign in Harry Kane now, not only are you shafting Cavani, but you're also shafting Greenwood as well. And also, I don't believe the Mail.
Exactly.
That's
so
true.
Chimere, Romelu Lukaku is coming back home.
Once again, though, but like, if this true though, but we're Chelsea fans though.
Yeah, based on the reports we're hearing, is Antonio Conte could probably live in Inter Milan. I don't know where he's gonna go.
This guy leaves everywhere, man. This guy doesn't.
No, but you don't know what's happening at Inter right now. They had to forego 2 months. The players' salaries for 2 months.
For
they can't
2 months,
pay 2 months worth of
salary. Yeah.
Apparently, Inter still haven't paid the money for Lukaku to United. They still owe like 30 million or something like that.
Bro, like what they did this summer was really just spend beyond their means, man.
No, but that's another thing with transfers we forget. When you say Kane is 150, is that these clubs are not paying the 150 at once. It's normally structured for like 5-6 years. So exactly,
amortization. Whatever.
Exactly. So once we hear 150, we're like, nah, they might be paying 30 mil per year.
But then you also take into account the players' wages as well on top of that, which also
that's a big one. Yeah, that's true.
So,
Abdullah, what formation are you guys playing? Because if you're playing, you got to play 4. You got to play 4-4.
Based on the report,
Lukaku can be.
Based on the report I'm hearing, like the Athletic and Co, that Tuchel could resort back to the formation he used in PSG 4-2-4.
Because I'm saying, but like, I mean, he'll still play. He might still play well as one striker, but to get the very best out of him,
you gotta play number. You gotta play 2 striker.
If you want to see the Lukaku you're seeing at Inter, you have to play somebody off of him. You know,
you just have to play somebody who can link up with him up top. Like, and is that Havertz?
Havertz
is going to be?
Yeah, I Havertz.
Havertz ain't it, dude. Like,
exactly. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Like, is it Havertz? Because
he's not a striker. Like,
yeah, but
I mean, but that's what I mean. That's where Havertz should play.
That's where Havertz could play.
That's where his best performances have been for them.
I don't think so, man.
He's a hybrid of a false 9 and number 10 a little bit.
I don't think so, because if you watch him at Bayer Leverkusen, I looked at like I watched him. If you watch him, bro, like he was playing.
Yeah, but that's Bayern Leverkusen. Like, I watched him there too.
You know what I'm saying? He was playing as a 10. Sometimes you even put him in central midfield. I never once saw him playing as a striker there. Not once.
He played as a striker.
No,
He
did.
He
After COVID, after the
After
COVID
COVID, he
break,
played as
when it
number
Yeah,
nine.
he
resumed, he
scored a
played
lot
as
of
a
goals,
number
right?
9. Yeah, he had like
A
a
lot
nice
of goals.
run.
A lot of goals.
Havertz and Werner could benefit off of playing off Lukaku. To be honest,
Nah,
I think
one.
Lukaku can
But this is the
unlock
thing.
a lot
This is the
of.
thing. Lukaku, when he plays, he likes to drift out wide to like the right channel.
Mm-hmm.
So like when he drifts out wide, that's where Havertz will take up those central areas.
Yes.
That's what he wants. That's what he wants to do. Like I think that's what will happen.
Because Lukaku will score goals, bro. That's just the reality. His left track record shows you. People say he flopped that man, but he scored goals. Like go look at his stats. He scored goals there. Like don't believe what the media tells you. He flopped. He scored goals. He just wasn't the right fit for the way Ole wanted.
Yeah.
He just wasn't right for the way Ole wanted to play. That's why he sold him. But he has nothing to do with him personally. He was scoring goals. I think it's a good fit for Chelsea, but it just depends. I don't know. It just depends on. It just depends on Tuchel.
I think with Havertz and Werner.
Because I think Tuchel said he wants a player like Alan and Lukaku based on the report I heard.
Yeah, because Lukaku's fine. He can hold the ball up, you know.
Yeah, he can even score goals.
And he's somebody who has a hunger to score. That's what you guys
can
need.
dribble.
So he's somebody you guys need. But at the same time, though, like I said, I got to see other targets. Who are the players that are buying to support him?
Yeah, we need a DM, bro. We need Rice, bro. Come on, get Rice, man.
Wow, wait.
Why?
Is it fried rice or jollof rice?
You guys stop this Jasmine
or Ghana
rice.
Or
Jasmine
Ghana,
rice.
I'm a disrespect.
Zara's on the market. Locatelli's on the market. Chumeni's on the market. You telling me
Pep
Rice?
wants Rice. Pep wants Rice, though.
If Pep
Pep
doesn't
want Rice. That's a myth.
Declan Rice is underrated.
Dude,
stop this.
what are you
underrated?
No, Declan Rice is good. He's a good player.
Let's move.
I don't care. I'm still not paying 80 million for
Let's
him.
move.
He's better than Jorginho. The fuck?
Nah,
Probably.
My days, that doesn't matter.
Anyone's better than Jorginho.
Abdullah, can I just go real quick with
Lukaku? Sam.
Yeah, so Lukaku, the only thing if he has a bad run, Chelsea fans they're not nice. They're not nice at all. I think they could turn on him the way a little bit United fans turned on him. But apart from that,
but I think his experience enough to understand that he's played in the APL before, so he could take that to his chin.
Because I feel that's part of the reason he wanted to leave United.
He wants to come back and prove a point, though. He will come back to prove a point.
Yeah, good for that's for sure. If he can prove it, I'm just saying Chelsea fans are they're evil in a way sometimes with this.
Because him coming back to Premier League, especially to United, the way they treated him, you want to prove a point that United, you sold the wrong man. I'm sorry, you sold the wrong man.
I know, but that's what I'm just saying, that strikers go on bad run. But that aside, he's a great striker. He's good. He's more experienced. He's the kind of striker I want. That's why I also wouldn't mind Kane. Just I feel that front line needs an experienced striker. I think we're in the wrong age because we have Giroud and then we have Tammy Abraham. I feel we need to think the middle of those two, like not 23 or 33. We need someone in this like.
Lukaku just started it last month. So
exactly, that's the age, 27, 28. That's what Chelsea needs right now to lead the attack. So, and we don't have that. So, yeah, it would be a good signing. For sure, Tuchel. The thing with Tuchel is that you know for sure Tuchel always changes his style.
He will find a way to fit on Lukaku.
He changes his style of play based on his players he has. So for sure, he would find a way to involve Lukaku if Lukaku will bring out the output that it needs. You understand? Because I think every manager at some point will do that for a player. If the player is actually performing when you play to their strength and is doing it consistently, the coach would basically even like build the whole team around them. So yeah, Lukaku would be a good fit. And I think it's more possible than Kane just because of Inter's financial problems and the fact that Conte might leave. And yeah, I think him and Havertz could link up well. Him and Werner too could really link up well.
Not Werner.
Even Ziyech. See, at the end, I know everyone has their own say about Werner, but Werner will improve. I know some people think he's gonna get worse, but I actually think he will improve. It's my opinion.
He's just a dog shit player. That's all.
Okay, then we'll see. Though,
Macedonia, the open goal, though, man.
You know the thing. All these things we're saying. No, Samuel, you know why you have to calm down is that all these things we're saying, we'll keep the receipts. If it's true, okay, but in the next 2-3 years, we'll see if it's actually true. So, yeah, in my opinion, I don't think Werner is bad. I think he's been underwhelming, but he's not been horrible. He's not our worst player in that team. So, yeah, I think Lukaku with him would be good. Even
he'll never be a world-class player.
Okay, good then. But
Do you,
yeah,
We will see.
actually,
We will see.
being the Chelsea fans, actually, do you think that Olivier Giroud has been disrespected by Chelsea this season?
of course,
100%.
of course.
100%, yeah. I
It's
think he
just
has
that
been.
another
Guys,
thing is
you guys
that
need to take into
Giroud.
account that
Another thing is,
no. You have to take into account
Nah,
that
he doesn't. He doesn't.
we are
It's like Lukaku at
prioritizing
United.
Giroud over
He doesn't
Giroud.
fit the
Giroud's
system.
leaving this summer. So.
He
No,
doesn't
it's
fit
not
the
even.
system.
It's not
You
that.
said
Number
that.
one is that Giroud is the fact that number one, that system is not helping out because if you're playing that Tuchel style of football, you need to be able to press from the front. That's part of the reason actually Chelsea have somewhat of a good defensive record. It's not only because of the defenders, it's also because of people like Werner and Mount who play that inverted forward
Kante.
role, and even Kante for sure, and
Okay.
Havertz who actually have that
Okay.
energy to
Okay.
press. So
Okay.
that's the thing that Giroud
But
doesn't
even
have.
just, but even coming on is because
Yeah,
the
but the thing
same
is that
complaint.
I said this last week even that Tuchel has to choose between Tammy and Giroud. In this last games, I feel he's done them a misservice because sometimes he puts Tammy on the bench, sometimes he puts Giroud on the bench. So that thing is a little bit destroying. I feel he
Yeah,
needs to choose one of them and bring that person consistently off the
and
bench at
also,
70th minute or something.
and also,
Like
while I get systems, and I don't deviate. It's like, but at the same time, you also have to. A good manager, a good coach, you also have to. You have your own system, but also with the players you have to also work with what you have to get the best ones. So if you're in a situation where you're struggling to score goals, you can't be like, oh, I don't have the right players, I don't have the right system players. No, I can't score goals. Like you still have to win football matches, you have to win games. And so as a coach, you need to now somehow incorporate that player, however you do it, into that formation or into that game or into that game. What's the first half or second half to get the objective to win the game? And there's just been so many games this season where you're thinking, this game, okay, I get the plane and swear, okay, but fine, you've got to change it. You've got to bring on Giroud. You've got to try and bring Cross into box. You've got to try and do something different because you need to get those goals. Arsenal, I mean, did Giroud play against Arsenal?
yeah,
I mean, you don't need to tinker you don't need to
You
for
don't
the
need to tweak your system, but at the same time, a good man, and why I always rep Sir Alex Ferguson, the times that like, you have your own style of play, yes, but then sometimes when it's not working for whatever reason, a
switch
good
it up.
manager says, "Screw it, I'm going to change this. I'm going to do that," because you have to adapt. That for me is what a good manager coach does, not just say, "I'm sticking to my philosophy,"
Hasn't he
and
done
even though
that
I'm
with our
3-0
team?
down, I'm still sticking to it.
The thing is he did that because Giroud did play
Yeah, he
against
did.
when Tammy got injured, Giroud came on, he scored. The Atletico game he played, we didn't play particularly well, but he scored the decisive goal, which was basically a worldie. And another thing is also other players did step up sometimes. So Kai Havertz did step up. Werner, to some extent, did step up, even though people say he's not been good, but he did create those assists. Kai Havertz
Yeah.
scored sometimes. Ziyech scored sometimes. And another thing is that Tammy Abraham thing. I feel that's the biggest problem that affected him is that sometimes Tuchel is putting Tammy in the team instead of Giroud, and sometimes he's putting Giroud in the team instead of Tammy. So those two, they're just like they're getting maybe
He
20
mismanaged.
minutes. Yeah, he's
But
mismanaging those two players
mismanagement.
because
But
they're getting 20 minutes in like a month sometimes.
Deviated.
And
Yeah,
that
that's
you can't really, it's not good at all. And
Chelsea,
especially for a team that is not scoring all the time.
Or deviated.
He needs
Chelsea
to
really
choose one
need a
of them.
Chelsea need a special player, man. Like, cause I'm looking at this team, like
Jadon
all
Sancho.
those performances, like Werner scoring against Madrid, Mount scoring against Madrid. I just look at it as like, this is like what Tuchel is doing more so than it's like the players because there's just not like there's just not that one outstanding attacking player that you guys have that you could just rely on him week in week
always had
out.
this problem though in PSG. He can't coach attacking players.
We're deviating here now.
Let's just move. Let's move.
Yeah. Just to
Let me
finish
let me
Lukaku
let me
stuff.
speak about
Yeah,
Lukaku.
Say something on this, Abdullahi.
No, let me come to Samuel, then I'll come to Abdul.
Cool.
Samuel, go for
So I
me.
just wanted to comment on Lukaku. So for Chelsea, I think he would be the best move because we could get him for 80 million. We can get him for 80 million. Obviously, Inter Milan are in a financial crisis. So I think if you can get him for 80 million, then you can also use that money for the midfield, maybe even getting Jadon Sancho. Who knows? But anyway, this guy, I think maybe he unlocks Werner, because statistically speaking, or from past evidence, we know that Werner works really well with a striker that could hold up play, right? So Werner would obviously operate on the left side. So and you also have Kai Havertz. So I think he's a clinical finisher. We've got two players that we could possibly unlock, and I think we're getting him for a reasonable price, 80 million. So Lukaku is definitely should be the #1 target. I think I've made my decision, and I think we're pursuing him more as the #1 target. So hopefully we get Lukaku. Definitely a very.
Why didn't Werner work with Giroud then?
No, because Lukaku is different from Giroud. Lukaku has some semblance of pace.
You know the thing, if you watch Chelsea, even if you watch Giroud is a one-touch player, and I'm not saying it's bad every time, but if that's all you do, just watch Giroud play. The moment the ball comes to him, he has to. He doesn't even have that movement to maybe hold on to the ball a little bit, drive with the ball. He doesn't have any of that. It's the moment it comes to him, he releases the ball or takes a shot. So Lukaku is way more an all-round.
I know. Lukaku's better. I know, but like you said, a player that can hold up the place. I thought. I mean, Giroud's that. So.
Yep.
No, but you also need other qualities as well, and I think just Lukaku
because at Leipzig
offers more tactical versatility as well. So
at Leipzig, Werner played with Poulsen or whatever, and Poulsen is not mobile at all. Like he's the same. He's just a one-touch player. Doesn't do much without it. Just target man. And Werner shined. So I thought Werner would do okay playing with Giroud, but I mean the guy. Look, man, he's a good player that you can shoehorn in a system, but the guy's just a brick, man. Like, no disrespect. He's just a brick.
Romelu Lukaku to Chelsea.
Yeah, the thing with Lukaku that worries me is he's flopped before in a United side. And Everton and Inter, they are more similar in playing style than they are to United or Chelsea. The thing with Inter, people look at Inter and they think they've done great, but people forget that these bricks, they've been knocked out of the group stages of the Champions League 2 years in a row.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, and Lukaku, one of the main reasons why they got knocked out is because they lack the ability to create chances and they weren't clinical enough. Even against Shakhtar, bro, these guys were bricks when it came to finishing. If you look at that, I think they scored under 10 goals in 6 games, bro. Like horrible. So I think you need to be careful. You've seen how he did in a top 6 team in England.
Yeah.
You saw how he did in the mid-table side of Everton, and then he's gone abroad and ripped it up in
Inter Milan.
In Inter Milan, but on the European stage, he's done nothing. So, and the thing with it is, we all know Lukaku. He's a frustrating player. He's going to be frustrating. His touch isn't great. His first touch isn't great, and he misses a lot of chances. And what do Chelsea not create much of? They don't create many chances. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, Lukaku, he gets a lot of chances in Inter Milan.
I think in Chelsea he will get a chance because Tuchel will find a way to adapt a system to fit in Lukaku.
Wait, but let me just say this though. Like Lukaku, regarding Inter. Like Inter in the first, I would say 3 to 4 match days of the Champions League this year, the only team that had a higher XG, expected goals, than them was Bayern Munich. Like that was the only team. They created a lot of chances. They just bricked it up in terms of finishing.
Yeah.
But with Lukaku though, like Lukaku, if he goes to Chelsea where they're creating, what I look at is Conte is a manager who has patterns. He has distinct patterns. He knows how he wants to play. He likes his strikers to drop deep. He likes his strikers to hold up the play. He likes his strikers to kind of be like the fulcrum of the attack, basically. And he wants his strikers to be ready for balls that are played inside the channels, or in between the channels, or for, players to be ready for, balls coming into them. Pause. So, I'm thinking that, if Conte is like that. Tuchel is way different though. Tuchel, he's more about coaching the decision making of players. Players to make the right decision. It's not really like a pattern type of football. It's not like that. So the way I see it is that if Lukaku's there and he's able to like play in a more free sense, I think that he can do well, like in terms of creating chances for himself. But at the end of the day, in the Premier League, you're going to face a lot of low blocks because they've looked at Chelsea. They've looked at a lot of managers. They've looked at Tuchel's Chelsea system. They've looked at the tape and they're like, "Hey, we're just going to play low against them, and we're gonna have Chelsea break us down." How good, that will mostly depend on Tuchel, because in terms of breaking down low blocks, it's never the fault of a player. It's always the fault of the coach if a team can't break down low blocks. So it's going to be on Tuchel to create the necessary adjustments for a guy like Lukaku.
Do you think Tuchel will stay if they break the rest of the season?
Hell no. Hell no. Like, I think I'm saying, like, the Tuchel honeymoon period is over. Like, ever since that FA Cup loss, it's over. It's over.
Of course, we don't 100% know whether Chelsea are going to be in the Champions League next season.
No, we don't, man.
We're going to talk about that.
We've got to wait for a bit.
So, Abdul, finish up your point.
Want to play Europa
Finish up your point. Lukaku.
Yeah, I think it's just a big risk. It's a big risk when it's like Andre Silva. You remember Andre Silva in Sevilla, how he flopped, and now he's
don't compare Andre Silva to Lukaku, man.
He flopped in Milan
it's
too.
Just an example. I'm just saying he flopped in La Liga, and then he's gone to the Bundesliga, 28 goals. For Barcelona to buy him, it would be a high risk because he's flopped in their league. You know what I mean? So
Lukaku never flopped in the Premier League.
Lukaku's not Andre Silva. Lukaku has 100+ goals in the Premier League.
Yeah, man. How do you compare him to Andre Silva like that?
I'm not comparing it. I'm just saying it's a similar situation where he underimpressed in a top team in their league. You know what I mean?
Bro, the season he scored 14 Premier League goals for United. The team flopped, not him.
That's not a flop, though. Let's be real.
He did. I wouldn't say he flopped. He didn't flop, but he underwhelmed. He underwhelmed.
Bro, man. United flopped that season, not him. Come on.
Yeah, even as a Manchester United fan, I never agreed with the issue with Lukaku and system is Lukaku. It's the issue with United is that as he's having it into, you need to create chances for Lukaku, and the problem was that up until if ironically enough, Lukaku was in this United team now with a Bruno and a Pogba, Lukaku would actually be doing a lot better. Why? Because he's got more players around him. If you include Greenwood into that, maybe Luke Shaw, for example, bombing forward, he's now got more players to create chances.
But Lukaku isn't capable, bro.
Lukaku's playing with Fellaini, bro. What are you talking about? Come on.
And
what are you talking about? He had no midfielders there. Pogba's playing on the bench most of the time with Mourinho there.
And Lukaku needs ball to feet. He's not going to come deep and carry the ball. He needs ball to feet in the box, outside the box to do what he does. And that's for me, my thing with Chelsea is that I don't even know whether Chelsea even have the players to actually give Lukaku what he wants in that sense.
I don't think they have special. That. Who's the creative player? Who's the creative fulcrum of Chelsea? I don't see it.
It's Mason Mount.
Yeah, it's Mason.
Mason, he's not really a creator.
Also, he was supposed to be chances.
It was supposed to be Ziyech.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Ziyech. It was supposed to be Ziyech.
Listen, I don't want to talk about Ziyech.
Yo, that guy stinks. That guy stinks.
Yeah, Ziyech is a shit player, man.
I can't believe HH compares Ziyech to Cristiano Ronaldo. My God in heaven.
See, this is the HH Juju. Any player he
Yo, let's have we need to have a discussion. We need to have a discussion on these Ajax players, man.
Yeah, man. What about De Jong? De Jong's a flop for Barca, man.
Dude, De Jong stinks. De Jong is
stinks. He's shit, man. Look at De Jong.
All he does. I watch Barca games. I watch Barca games. Don't believe what Barca fans are saying. They love him because he looks the part. But I'm telling you,
come on.
Okay, he hasn't necessarily flopped, but he's been very underwhelming. He's just a sideways passer, sideways back. That's all he does. That's all.
not true.
He's a sideways passer, and he runs into the box. He can't control tempo. He can't control the game. When the Barca need to control the game in midfield, he can't do anything. He can't control the game. It's Busquets that usually does it. Look at Van de Beek at United. Garbage.
That's the problem, bro. It's system
Look at all
players,
these guys,
man.
bro. They're all system
What
players.
about De Ligt?
Guys, let's chill a little bit. Eric, Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah. Lukaku. The money I had for Lukaku just now is
80 million. 80 million, yeah.
Euros.
80 million euro, yep.
Yeah.
That's good price, man.
It's a lot less than what I had before, so it's a better price. And if Lukaku comes to Chelsea, I think the main thing is he needs to be a player that Tuchel wants, right? A player that Tuchel can use, and I think he could play with Werner. I think that's the kind of partnership that he will be able to work well with. I know Werner isn't very good with his decision making and his ball control, but I think that would be the best situation. So Tuchel can play like a 4-2-2-2.
Yeah, he said like based on that. They said Tuchel want to play like a 4-2-4. That's like a 4-2-2-2. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that would be the way to go with him. So yeah, I wouldn't be upset if Lukaku comes in, because I think he has improved since he was at United, and he's a player who guarantees you goals. He will always score goals, so that's what we need. I think some people are being a little bit harsh towards Lukaku. I think he's a good player, and he will have a point to prove, coming back to Chelsea. So I think I wouldn't be too obsessed with. I'll be happy with it. I'll be happy with it if he signs.
Fair enough. Blue Eyes, big room, Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be a blockbuster signing for us. There's a sentimental value. There could be a sentimental value attached to such a deal, but again, I think Chimera was the one saying it. How do we restructure the front three? Are we going to play flat three?
No, he said he wants
striker?
to play a 4-2-4, a 4-2-2-2.
I see.
So that means that's why I think Timo Werner will work a little bit with Lukaku.
Abdullah, that means we're getting a DM, bro.
Possibly.
Probably, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. There you go. Hey, if we can get a DM that understands a point man like Lukaku, and then most importantly, somebody that can pair him up front, like what's his name is doing right now, Lautaro. What's his name?
Martinez. Yeah.
Martinez. Somebody that can peel away.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Havertz.
Isn't that Mount?
I think my say will be Havertz because I think my say will be Havertz. You know why? Because Lukaku love to play more on the right wing, not to drift on the right. Havertz can take that center position.
True.
Yeah, he can take that center position and score that goals. I trust him that more than Timo Werner. Yeah, because I've seen them play. So Lukaku play more as a vocal number 9, but he loves to drift into the right wing. So that is where Havertz will just come in and stay in that number 9 and just score those goals and create those chances, those kind of positioning we lack in terms of
because you don't want one person to come in and take all the attention.
Yep.
In the front three, because that's
and I
just
think we need a leader. We've been lacking a leader apart from Antonio Rudiger.
I want you to go on Twitter and go on Absolute Chelsea and see what Tuchel's been saying.
I saw it. So in terms of the way we play Lukaku, I think Havertz will work more because we need a leader. And Lukaku, for me, when I look at him play, with the way he talks, is someone that is a leader. Yeah, in the dressing room and the pitch. Someone like Rudiger, when Rudiger is in the pitch, hey, this man, you know what, Wala. If you trouble Rudiger, you are a problem. If you trouble Rudiger,
yo man, Abdullah, but at the end of the day, though, the most important, what trumps everything right now is that Champions League. When we win that Champions League, we can start pointing fingers and looking at files. Right now, man.
We need to talk about what happens if Chelsea don't win the Champions League and don't finish top 4.
Exactly.
We'll
cross that.
This guy,
We'll
Red
cross
Devil,
that bridge when we get there.
You've been saying this
He won't get
for a
sacked.
week, man. You're
What's
easy,
that?
man.
We'll talk about
I mean,
it.
I was told
Finish
that
up your point.
Leicester City was going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's
So,
all.
finish
So
up your
just-
point.
Who said
Right.
Yeah.
easy?
No,
Who
no.
said
For,
easy?
yeah.
Who
Just,
said easy?
again, like
let Blythe finish. Let him finish.
Abdullah, really quick. Yeah. Again, yeah. Blockbuster signing. Definitely would be a good fit. Bringing him back home, but just understanding that if we are going to be dynamic up front, that we have the players that will fit his profile. And like someone was saying, we definitely have to get a DM.
Yeah.
And I don't. Yeah, we get a DM to fit that profile. But yeah,
it's in DM,
exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah. MK Dons. Big man coming back home. Big Rome. Romelu Lukaku.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
We can hear you.
All right. Lukaku. I like Lukaku, but my issue with Lukaku's always been his. I know people spoke about Kane's big game record, but I think Lukaku's big game record's even worse when he was in the league. Apart from when he was at United and he was scoring against us, his big game record's really, really poor. I also I don't want Manchester United Lukaku respectfully as well. Give me Inter Milan or Everton Lukaku in terms of his build, because I don't know if Red Devil can agree, but I think Lukaku was a bit on the thick side. He was to lose a few pounds.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I need a slimmer down Lukaku.
No. But he was producing goals, man. Come on. He was scoring goals.
He
He was like 220 pounds at United.
No.
Well, he was banging in goals, man. He was banging in goals, man. Let's not forget that, though. He was scoring goals.
Yeah, he
was
I
injuring
think
himself on the ball.
Bro,
I mean,
plus don't forget.
Go
on, finish up.
I was just saying, just put in context, like I think he lost his dad around that time, so to speak. So he needs to put in that stuff into context as well. So
Okay. I'm sorry. Apologies. I didn't know that. Apologies.
No, it's okay.
Even then, still, I'm sorry. As much as tragedies happen. You have to put that when you step on a pitch, man. Unfortunately, many people as fans, when they see you on a pitch, the expectation is the same, So, I mean, it's tough though. I get it. But Lukaku. If you're asking me Lukaku as an option, it would be my third choice. Respectfully, I'd rather Kane and or Haaland, but I know Kane will be difficult, so I understand that. But he'd be my third choice striker.
Asap, Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, man. I would take Lukaku to Chelsea, and yeah, I'll just take him to Chelsea. I think we're gonna score a lot of goals with him, and that's it, my guy. Just bring us a goal scorer, man. That's what we need.
Yeah, Red Devil Studio. I know Big Room has played a lot. I played in United a lot, but Romelu Lukaku in Chelsea, does that work?
Like I said, I've already said I won't label the point, but looking at the Chelsea side now, I don't see how it works because I don't really see who Lukaku needs players that play ball to feet. Mm-hmm. He's not going to drop deep. I mean, okay, from a purely to press, Lukaku can do that because he's quite quick, so he can do that. But if you're talking about scoring, because I think against PSG, for example, when we knocked them out, Lukaku's pressing and being there helped for us to get that dub over them, as well as Buffon being a brick. But in a 38 game season, he needs chances created and he needs ball to feet. And I don't really see the players aside from maybe Mounts. I don't know who else in the close side really create those many chances for Lukaku right now.
Yeah, Red Devils too. But once we change our formation and we bring more attackers into the team, I think we're going to create more chances.
I mean, maybe. I don't know what Tuchel. I don't know what Tuchel will do or how he'll do it.
Because right now
because Arsenal changed their formation, and they looked worse. They looked worse. They had success. They had success with the 5-3 at the back, and they've looked worse when they changed it to a 4.
Chelsea's best success this season, if we're talking about in their stability, has been when they've obviously played three at the back with, and then sometimes maybe Jorginho cancel drop or whatever. But if you're going to play something like Lukaku, you're going to press up. I assume anyway, it's going to leave you a bit more exposed. You're going to be more expansive.
And I understand that, yeah, but that's why we're looking for a DM, and we're looking for a centre back that can play in the 2. Because if you look at Chelsea's squad right now, Jorginho, Christensen, Zuma, and Rudiger, do you trust them to play in a 4? Not really.
No. I trust Declan Rice. Declan Rice will answer that question.
Yeah, Declan Rice, man. Give us Declan Rice, bro.
Yeah, I'll take Declan Rice.
Simple math.
Simple, man. Give us Declan Rice, Varane, and a
who's creating, though? Who's creating these opportunities?
We got Mount. We can use Mount. We can use...
Hey, Red Devil. Hazard. Hazard will come back. Well, Hazard will come back. You know what I mean?
He's going to come back
after the Euros. We're playing a cheeky bid.
He's going to come back.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a Chelsea fan. Are the Chelsea fans here really saying that Hazard needs to come back?
Nah, my Hazard is finished, my guy. Hazard is finished.
He's not finished. He's not finished. Come on now, let's be respectful.
I don't want to talk about guys. I don't want to talk about your love.
He's coming back to take his appreciation award.
Red Door Studio. Would you take Declan Rice for United for your midfield?
Of course, because we need a DM because we don't play with DM. We play Fred and Matic. Whereas you have. At least you have Kante. Kante can be a DM by himself.
I don't want to talk about
Kante. Hell no.
Jollof rice.
We need
fried rice.
No, Declan Rice is a top class player.
Bro, Declan Rice, Declan Rice can use both of his feet.
The way Tuchel play, I don't think Declan Rice could work because Tuchel play more of a possession.
He will work perfectly.
And I'm not seeing Declan Rice playing
perfectly.
You know what? I will bring Declan Rice and I'll put him in Christensen's position, man. I'm telling you.
Declan Rice a baller, man.
It's the West Ham. It's the West.
I'll put him in Christensen's position.
Don't let that.
As one of the two.
No, so listen, Fernandinho. He reminds me of a little bit of Fernandinho and Carrick, bro.
That's what I was saying. Exactly.
Do you know why Lampard was sacked? Do you know why he was sacked?
Because he was going for Declan Rice.
Yes.
Declan Rice, bro. He's a Chelsea supporter.
Lampard was sacked because of
that's not the reason.
The consistency of taking.
The reason why he was sacked was because he was trash.
Apart from being trash and Siberia being class.
Yeah, exactly.
He was constantly saying, "I want James Tarkowski," and I've never heard in my life, maybe from Burnley, and he said, "I want Declan Rice to the ball," and the boy was like, "We have so many midfielders in this team. Where does Declan Rice?"
Bro, come on, man. Jorginho, and Declan Rice. Who would you choose?
Was the stumbling point. The ball was a stumbling point.
Come on, man. Declan Rice is a baller, man. Well, Declan Rice is a baller, man. A lot of people disrespect him because he's English.
We did it with Matic. We did it with Nemanja Matic. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as we don't
Declan Rice will improve our team, bro.
Our have a peace of mind. Declan Rice, I don't want to talk again.
For Declan Rice, though, Abdullah, one last thing before we put it aside.
Abdullah, if we get Declan Rice, or either, for me, my dream midfield would be Declan Rice and Tillemans. Huh?
Why would Tillemans leave?
We get both of them.
No, we have
that's a good combo, man. Wow.
Abdullah, I just ate some.
Kovacic, bro, are you mad?
Guys, let me hear what
Kovacic.
That's a good
Tillemans way better than Kovacic, bro. Are you mad?
Guys, let Chimere talk.
I just ate some great jollof rice not too long ago.
One long shot.
Jollof rice. That's good. Great jollof rice, not the rice in West Ham. I beg.
Abdullah, you disrespect.
We can get it for 50 million.
United, and then you guys can keep Kante and Kovacic and.
No, give us Pogba. Give us Pogba.
I've been saying it for a very long time. Please, give us Labio. Please.
No. How you like that? How you like me now?
Bro, listen, man.
I've been shouting for a very long time. I want a combination of Labio, Pogba, and N'Golo Kante.
He's yours. Give us Kante, he's yours.
How about you give us Kante like you did Matic?
Chimere, you have to kill the whole entire Chelsea fans to get Kante.
Bro, listen, Abdullahi, man. Tillemans, bro. Abdullahi, give us Tillemans, bro. Tillemans is better than Kovacic, bro.
I said it, man. I will take Tillemans right now, man.
One nice
guys, let's move.
What about Eric Smith?
What about
Eric Smith?
Guys, let's move.
Yeah, he's
Tillemans is way better than
good.
Kovacic,
He's
bro.
good. Yo, Chimere, that's a good shout.
Guys, let's
move. Smith Rowe. Wow.
I don't want to be talking about it. Declan Rice for the chicken rice.
I'll take Smith Rowe in a heartbeat.
Corn rice or father rice. No, I don't want to talk about that, guys. No. Somebody just said
that rice will soon be cooking in your backyard, though. That rice will soon be cooking in your backyard.
Hey, but jollof rice is good, though. Jollof rice is good.
Somebody just said he just finished eating the jollof rice, which is a very good food, though. So I don't want to talk about any more rice.
Hey, Declan Rice ate jollof rice. Bukayo Saka's mum made Declan Rice jollof rice, and he ate it on the England trips, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah, jollof rice is good, yo.
Yeah. So
yeah. Declan Rice had jollof rice. He said it. Check up on YouTube.
Guys, I'm scared. I'm worried. I don't know what to say. I'm just scared. I'm worried. Chelsea Football Club will not kill me. I am scared. I am worried. Alisson is a prick. Sorry.
Don't worry, Abdullahi.
Mute your mic.
Abdullahi, let me speak first, please.
The Champions League, their favorite for the
Abdullahi, let me speak first, bro.
Give some respect, man. Come
on.
on.
Let me go first.
Okay. I am worried. I'm scared. Last 2 weeks, I was like a little bit laid back, chill, a little bit. Right now,
I blame United, man.
Because Chelsea Football Club is about to just kill me just because. What Alisson Becker did on Sunday? Oh my God!
Yeah, how do you allow a goalkeeper to score the winning goal? And another thing,
bro, it's FA, man. The FA is it's corrupt, bro.
Talking about
no one's marking Alisson.
What was the goal that you guys conceded against Arsenal? Chill out, like come on, like at least that's a classic G. What happened there?
So Asaf. Give me your thought on Chelsea.
Bro, I blame United, bro. They bricked it against Leicester
Red Devil.
Bro, the whole thing started off against United, bro. United versus Leicester versus they bricked it both games. And we're in this conundrum
that
right
Arsenal, now. Can you clarify that Arsenal goal for me? I want you to take me step by step how Chelsea conceded that goal to Arsenal, which lost them the game.
Don't fall for that trap, man. Don't fall for that trap. Don't fall for that trap.
There's one answer. Italian stripper, Jorginho.
Don't fall for that trap.
Huh?
That's why. If you want to, if there's one thing to say, like literally, if you're going to say that Chelsea missed out on top 4, it will be because it'll be that goal and because you couldn't beat Leicester City in the Premier League in the upcoming game because you have to beat Leicester City now to secure top 4.
Yeah, 100%.
And you lost to City in the champ. So this is the thing. So you've had 3 things. So you have essentially you have 3 opportunities. You've got to beat Leicester City, right? Okay, and then you've got to beat. Obviously, you didn't beat Arsenal, and then you have to beat City in the CL. So you have.
Don't forget Aston Villa, bro. Aston Villa must win.
Okay.
No, it's not. Not if you beat Leicester.
So if you beat Leicester, we're on 67.
Yeah.
If we lose against Aston Villa and Liverpool wins all their games, they're top 4.
So
both games must win, bro.
And Aston Villa.
No, wait.
Both games. We have to win both games.
We have to win both games.
Or 4 points from the last. Because the thing is, if Leicester, actually no.
No. This is how it works.
You're right. Actually,
if we beat Leicester and lose to,
we have to win. Yeah, we have to win.
Liverpool is 1 point behind us. Yeah,
we have to win both games.
Because Leicester could lose but beat Spurs, and they'll have 69. If Liverpool win all of their games, they'll have 69. So the only way for Yeah, Chelsea to actually if they win both games.
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay, well
We have to win both games.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now,
we can't do it. Don't act like we can't do it. No.
Abdullah.
This is what this club was made of.
Let Asaf finish. Asaf, finish up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, bro. Listen, man. Tomorrow is a must-win game for Chelsea, bro. I can't lie, man. It's do or die. Because Wednesday, I think Liverpool's gonna win the game.
Wednesday, I'll be on prayer. I'll be a special prayer.
No, winning. Listen, man. The only way Liverpool
should message me. I'll be a special.
Well, listen, Abdullah. Do you believe in fate?
I believe in this.
I sort of feeling that Liverpool's gonna get top 4. If Alisson scoring a goalkeeper scoring the last minute header, they get in top 4, bro.
And I also believe. I can also tell something. I also believe that Burnley could beat Liverpool at tough month. So
that's what you said to me Saturday. West Brom's winning, so I'm not gonna believe you.
West Brom almost get a point, man. Even Alisson Becker.
I was like, Abdullah.
Almost. I was celebrating when it was like 94 minutes.
I would say
a final wish, and I saw Alisson Becker did a Cristiano Ronaldo Drogba-esque.
Liverpool's away form has been semi-decent. It's the home form. So if they're going to lose a game, it's probably going to be the final game in the season against Crystal Palace.
Fans is trash, bro.
They're gonna have a fans, so I don't.
Useless team, Crystal Palace.
Fans is gonna be with them.
Useless team, bro.
Liverpool got lucky.
They're not useless. Come on, respect Roy Hodgson.
Because I think
Roy Hodgson.
Because West Bromwich are going to score the goal.
Yeah, no, we respect him, but the team is just useless.
Abdullah,
it was shot because of offside. I don't know why there was offside in it.
So the question of the Chelsea fans is this: like, obviously, Leicester City beats Chelsea in the FA Cup final, so you're going to play. You're playing them tomorrow, basically.
Yeah.
You know, can Chelsea, given the defeat, can they beat Leicester City?
Of course we can.
Yeah, listen,
we can do it.
We can
do it.
We can do it, yeah. But the problem is, you have to understand. But something about Tuchel, bro, he always changes the front line, bro. So inconsistent, bro. Every time we need a goal, we don't like people figured out his system right now. Sit back.
I'm listening. Don't let him. Wait, guys, I'm listening to what
I would say that's a bit of a stretch.
Someone told me that Chelsea didn't even have a shot on target in the final. Is that true,
guys?
No, we got a shot on target. We got target.
We got 4.
We did.
Don't fall for this trap, man. This guy's just
you're trying to troll. You're trying to troll.
Guys,
I was trying to troll.
This guy's eating for lunch, man. Come on, guys.
Listening to what
you told me. I'll look it up.
Chelsea said something on the Absolute Chelsea, and he said it is absolutely logical to play the game on Wednesday from the Sporting side. Nobody can disagree. But okay, we are surprised we could not change, and we can't wait for another date to be played. So we will be ready tomorrow. And I also continue by saying, what did they say? Hold on. Yeah. Okay. I also continue by saying, I'm not a good loser, but I want to be a respectful loser, and I'm not here to play the matches, the FA Cup final down because of the financial reason. We lost a big match. It was a huge match for us. We put out the best team possible. It is the top 4 that bring the UCL. So tomorrow is another game, but like I said, the FA Cup final is also big for us. Yes, once you can collect a silver, you can tell everything simply out of the respect, and me and my players. Hold on. I said, me and my players are very sure about this. We think zero about how much money we can earn by qualifying for this year. That is not in our hand. And I think he also said by saying the top when you win the top 4 makes you qualify for Champions League, but the FA Cup doesn't make you qualify for Champions League.
Who said this?
Thomas Tuchel.
No, I don't think you said that too.
He said that. I could show you.
He took a shot at the FA.
Let me show you.
Oh, yeah?
Let me show you.
Is he lying?
Is it lying? It's not lying. That's it.
It's not lying, but don't you say it like that? Say it like that.
It's not lying.
That is what Ganaski and the bot wants. So that's it.
That's I guess so.
So what have I told you about this team, man? I told you we're not that good.
Yeah, NK Dons, man. I'm like, where's this guy?
We go to the final, man. I'm telling you, man.
Man, but let's be honest.
I'm telling you, man. Prepare for the worst, man. Prepare for the worst.
NK Dons, you were not far off at all, man. I'm like, yo.
Man, don't stop preparing yourself, man. It could get worse.
Yeah, it could be 4-0 tomorrow. Yeah.
But can I ask if the worst case
Mm.
scenario happens and Chelsea don't get top 4, they lose this in the semi-final and somehow end up in the Europa League, what does that mean for Tuchel and Chelsea going forward?
You put him on what's called a performance review program.
You put him on probation. That's what it is. You put him on probation.
Yeah, performance review program. 3 months performance review program.
The most important thing is what I would do. 2021, goodbye. 2022, I'll see you there. You won't see me for the rest of the year. That's number one. Number two, it's a sackable offense. It's a sackable offense.
It is.
It's a sackable offense.
Unfortunately.
You think it's sackable? Do you guys think it's sackable?
Yeah. It's debatable.
It's a sackable offense.
It's debatable.
It's a sackable offense. I have to keep that same energy.
It is debatably sackable. It is debatably sackable.
MK. Listen, bro. The reason why Chelsea since 2017, I thought Chelsea when we won the league, I thought Antonio Conte is gonna build a dynasty in it.
What?
That's what I thought.
Man. Yo, take your mind off dynasty. Take your mind off dynasty, bro. Take your mind off dynasty.
I'll just
take your mind off dynasty, man. You're in for a short ride, bro. It's all about short rides.
Enjoy it.
Yeah,
no one can tell me it's not a sackable offense. Chimery, it's a sackable offense.
It is.
It's sackable.
And also, I can also have a rebuttal by saying, if you finish top 1, win the UCL, everything will calm down. I understand the fans and this. I get that.
Exactly.
People are already waiting Chelsea to even lose the FA Cup.
No, just get me top 4. Just get me top 4.
Just get me top 4.
Just get me top 4.
Because Chelsea
Abdullahi, bro.
I told you how.
Are you confident we're winning tomorrow?
I am confident. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
We're not beating Leicester, bro. Leicester parking the bus, bro.
Do we have any?
See, ASAP, I do not care how many balls they park. Maybe they park a decker. As long as we can score them and just if it is a full goal, I wouldn't mind. Just make that up for that.
They're gonna park the whole of Abuja down.
That's the issue.
You know what, Abdullah?
Bro, they're parking the plane, bro.
Our corners.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Really, let's be honest, bro.
I don't know. The problem is, like I said, the mentality of these players as a fans has made me look so sometimes ridiculous, sometimes because I remember the mentality a lot 3-4 years ago. The same mentality has been in this club for a very long time, and it's not even in the player; it is in the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Ever since Granaskia has been promoted to the sporting director, we have a problem as a team entirely. Because our job is not the director of football.
Yeah, but y'all beat us in FA Cup. You beat us in the FA Cup final, though.
Yeah, because of who? Hazard, bro.
So that one you want to win. You want to win that one.
We lost 8 of the last 11 finals. We've lost 8 of the last 11 finals.
Don't count Community Shield, bro.
No, but what I'm saying is Leicester.
Okay, even 5. Okay, even if you forget the Community Shield, that's still poor.
Mm-hmm. But let's be honest though. Let's be honest,
did you watch when Leicester played Man U? Even with the second string, Man U was still controlling that game for the majority. Mm-hmm. So let's be honest, how good are Leicester? Because then Newcastle beat them 4-2.
4-2, yeah.
And it was 4-1. It was 4-0 at some point.
Yeah, listen, Abdullahi, Jamiri, I understand that. I understand that. But you know what cost us that Leicester game? Was not even the players, bro. It was Tuchel.
I know Tuchel. I know Tuchel cost us that game. Guys, I know Tuchel got it wrong in the FA Cup, and I also blame the players.
Tuchel got it wrong.
Like I said, I'm not putting the praise on Tuchel because he got it wrong. Yes, I know. I also blame the players. To player like Jorginho, player like Siri Jim, especially Jorginho, who is like the dictator of that team. He should know better. He is the vice captain of that team. He should be more understanding in the way he plays. When Blue Eyes come at Mateo Kovacic, I look at him and I laugh. That guy is as important in that team as the way Golo Kante is. It may not be this final touches pass, but when Kovacic play, you see Chelsea midfielder being
press
very
resistance
is very good. But when Jorginho plays,
let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. No, let's be honest. Because I'm as much as I love Kante, I'm gonna defend Jorginho. because there's been many a game where Kante's been fit, right? And he hasn't started. It's in the best interest of the team in certain games. I'm not saying in all games, but in certain games for him not to start. So it's not every game that Kante should be starting in a team, respectfully. And it's not every game Jorginho should be starting. I think if Jorginho and Kovacic were in the team for that final, it could have been a very different game. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So
because
you know what I was
thinking? If you had a play,
Kovacic and them and the Christensen is in the team, so probably gonna take off some players out because they asked him about Tammy Abraham and he said he cannot have more than the players he have in the bench because he said they cannot have 4 strikers. He said he can play Timo, Kai Havertz as a number 9. He can also play Giroud also as a number 9. That he doesn't want to have a 4 strikers in the bench. It doesn't work that way. He doesn't want to do that.
Why is Giroud even in the equation?
You
do
know
you think
what?
a player like Thiago could have helped Chelsea?
Thiago who?
No.
Of course he would. He's the best midfielder in the world, after all.
Nah.
Just saying.
Could do the same thing.
Nah, Red Devil. You know who I want? I want Tillemans, bro. I want Tillemans.
I mean, what?
So, guys.
It's Jorginho-esque.
Let me come to what was
No.
Give me your take on the tomorrow's match. Are you confident? Are you nervous? Are you worried?
About tomorrow's match?
We're losing, bro.
Man. Yeah, man. You know what? This thing has been really on my mind, man. I've been really stressed out for this game, man.
Hey, man, don't be stressed.
Yo, Blue Eyes, I'm with you, bro. We're out.
You know what I came up with in my head? I said my 11 for tomorrow's game, man.
Let me put that 11 out. Hold on. Let me get the lineup out.
Okay. Sure.
Abdullahi, the best goalie in the world. Who is the best goalie in the world? Give me a name.
I'm
my dear friend.
Manuel Neuer.
Neuer.
No. It's the guy who just scored the greatest header of all time.
Oh my God in heaven.
Wait, drop us a
Oh my
goalkeeper.
God.
Oh my
And Red Devil
Drop a
Studios,
goalkeeper.
thank you for the 3 points, by the way.
Oh, please stop.
No, I can't.
I'm telling you, man. The FA gave Liverpool the result, bro. The FA gave Liverpool the result.
If Liverpool don't make top 4,
Did you see Red Devil Studios? By the way, did you see Trent giving birth
if
to
Liverpool
in that game? Did you see Trent? Did you guys witness Trent give birth?
No, Trent is not going. It's not starting England, bro. He's out of the squad.
Basically, a game that's not really relevant, to be honest. So,
guys, let's move. Let's move.
You have the first 11.
So, Blue Eyes. Yeah,
you rested all your important players just to play that game, and then you lost.
Okay, so who do you want as okay, Mendy?
Yeah,
Mendy
so
comes in.
exactly.
Harry Maguire wasn't
Can you
in
see
the
it
team,
now?
man. Leave them alone.
Mendy.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so Silva, because Christensen is, I had to just say Christensen is gonna be playing tomorrow and Kovacic. So Christensen, Thiago Silva, and Rudiger.
You know what I want to see?
Hold on.
Oh no, this is not the formation. This is not our formation, no.
We're going to play back 3 or what?
I know.
Just adjust the formation. I've lied.
Yeah, I will. I'm doing.
No. I mean, you can do it man anyway. But anyway, it's okay.
That's Christensen, Andres.
Yeah, continue.
So you see how the setup is.
Yep.
You're up the 3. Where's your 3 up front?
Wait, am I with the Christensen?
I'm a Nigerian, so I expect Kelechi to do the business tomorrow.
I will swear for you.
Flying the flag for Nigeria.
Kelechi and Wilfred Ndidi, you're not gonna play anything tomorrow. I'll play tomorrow.
Indeed. Fellow Nigerians, man, and man, go in.
We'll be Leicester. I'm confident we'll be Leicester. We'll be them.
So I mean,
so you said who's gonna play?
Abdullahi, man, calm down, bro.
So what I want to see, right? What I want to see is, so obviously Mendy number 1. Mendy number 1. Oh, you have the names there already, right?
Already, yes. Chilwell, this one is gonna be.
But you know the front 3.
So do you? Who's gonna be in the midfield?
Hold on. You see your front 3. Hold on. You see your front 3. Havertz, Mount, and Kante. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And Kante up front. Then you bring in Kovacic. You play Kovacic and Jorginho in the 6. I'm telling you. Think about it. I'm telling you, man. Because if you look at most of our offensive schemes, you're laughing. If you look at most of our offensive schemes, hold on. In the past, in the past 4 games, if you look at most of our offensive schemes, Kante is always involved in all of them. He's always the 3. He's always running in that 3, man. Bring Kante up front. I'm telling you.
So I think it's gonna happen.
So basically, just Leicester City have basically won the game.
No.
And just
because you know why? No. You guys are missing the point.
Don't just Kante like that, man. Red Devil, don't just Kante like that, man. Don't just like that. Man.
Did you see what Casper Schmeichel did to you guys in Africa? You see those saves?
No. I'm telling you, man.
That's what they say.
Kante can win the ball and Kante can pass the ball. Kante will make a very good 3 up front.
That's what they said.
Guys, I'm not available. I'm not available, guys. I'm not.
Kante bags a hat trick.
Yo, I'm telling you, Kante in that 3
collection link up and score and beat you guys. I'm gonna clown Chelsea for at least a month. That's.
Wilfred on you. No, but as like tomorrow's game.
Yeah, Kante will put in a play in the midfield. Is Kante? Is it Kante Kovacic or Jorginho?
No, it's gonna be Kante Jorginho. It's gonna be Kante Jorginho.
Why Jorginho? I'll put Jorginho on the bench for me though.
No, the thing is, you have to establish some kind of, especially in that double 6. You need rhythm. Mm-hmm. And if you bring in Kovacic, who I know can jump on the saddle right away. Mm-hmm. I don't think tomorrow's game will be the right one. I think Kovacic can come in like 60th minute and change the game to the next level. But to start him, I think
who plays there? Aspi or Reece James? Aspi, right?
Aspi, yeah.
Okay. No, not Aspi, bro, man. Odoi. Put Odoi there. We need pace.
Nah. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Tomorrow's game.
I want to risk it against.
Bro, Blue, I still
we also need
forget.
defensive
We can't
stability.
draw
We need
tomorrow.
to win the game. We need
to win the game, bro.
Don't worry, we'll give you information. This is for Blue Eyes. You guys gonna give your own. So who's gonna be your front 3?
We can't lose as well. We can't lose.
My front 3 is Havertz in the false 9.
Mm-hmm.
Chigozie top right.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Don't worry. So continue. We're gonna be here.
Just that Mount.
And yeah, that's Mount, not Chigozie. And then my goodness, man. I'm gonna play Christian Pulisic. I'll play Christian Pulisic. I'll throw the dice, man. Man.
Who agrees with Blue Eyes information of this? Do you guys agree with it?
We didn't talk about my defense, so It's
a
good formation. I would take out
Silva, Rudiger,
Christensen.
Yeah, that's what I put.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, correct.
Does anybody agree with this? Or okay, MK Dons, who do you want to take out? Who do you want to take out in the midfield? Are you okay with the midfield?
I'll take out Kante, put Kovacic, personally.
Kante, Kovacic.
Oh, you want to bench Kante?
I want to bench. Me too. I'll do that.
That's a bold move, man.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because of the UCL final. Yeah. Kante must not get it.
I'll do it. It has to be done.
Kante must not get injured.
Big move.
He must not get injured. He mustn't.
It's a big move, man. No, I respect it.
Back?
Yeah, it's back.
It's not even about the injury. This is a must-win game. It's a must-win game.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know what? It's funny. NK Dons, you bring up a good point because I found out in the past 2 games, all the other Arsenal and Leicester did is they just ISO'd on Kante.
Yeah.
They let him have all the offense. They let him be the creator and everything, and he was just easy to be found out.
Kovacic can draw fouls. He can draw fouls too. Yeah.
Yeah,
but also like this is what also happens when you play against like what I've known for Brendan Rodgers in particular is that like against the, I'm not saying he solely does this, but like the low block counter attack thing, that's kind of also Brendan Rodgers' thing. So Leicester so against bigger teams, it kind of sort of works. But that's why you say, oh, they lost to Force. Of course, they lost to Newcastle because they expect to go out and play against Newcastle. So against Chelsea, much like against Spinal, like Chelsea it's up to Chelsea essentially to dictate the game and actually break down a Leicester City side who are probably going to also free at the back and do the shots. The issue that I've seen in Chelsea so many times, it's ironic enough, I said this when we were previewing the Champions League finals, that whoever scores first, and I said for Arsenal, I said for Leicester, I said for City as well. It's like whoever scores first is going to win the game.
Yeah.
Same thing with Real Madrid. So whoever scores first will win the game. Real Madrid,
Red Devil Studios.
Leicester,
Could I
Arsenal.
respond to that real quick?
Yeah, go on.
I think if Man City scores first, then Chelsea's finished. But if Chelsea score first, I can see Man City easily coming back.
Easily.
I wouldn't say easy because whatever you say about Chelsea, their defense.
Don't disrespect Chelsea. We can come back.
Yeah,
no, I don't think.
Their
If Man
defense.
City score first, you're dead and buried.
No.
I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, if City score first, I think it's over. But like Chelsea's defense,
don't do that. Don't do that.
No, it's the fact. It's the fact. Like, what can you give me? Okay, give me an example. Because as a United fan, we are generally the comeback kings. We concede first, and you think, okay, we'll probably still score 2, whatever. I need examples of games this season on the 2 pool where Chelsea have conceded first, and then they've gone on to win the game.
Cry me a river, cry me a river.
2012.
I mean this season. This season. And give me examples. 2012.
2012.
Yo, MK.
8 years.
MK, bro.
2012. Please.
Yo, MK.
Sorry, Blue Eyes.
Red Devil,
We're
2012.
always better to be
Yeah,
underdogs, bro.
I can hear you, bro.
favorites, man.
You guys are not winning this final. I've already looked at my crystal ball. I've been
it's
rubbing
true.
it, and I'm pretty much
Of
guaranteed
course.
City's
I
winning.
know we're not. I know we're not. We're not winning it. What are you talking about?
Do you also remember that?
You know? Wow.
Do you also remember that every prediction I've made on Echitanga has come to except Chelsea?
We're gonna get abused.
I'm attached to this Chelsea football club. I'm attached to them, and it's giving me an headache about to make a stupid ass decision.
I'm telling you, if City score first, I'm going to sleep.
I'm seriously. I'm gonna do the same thing too.
Because City's boring. I'm sorry, they're boring to watch.
If Chelsea score first, City has to come out. They have to come out.
And also, there's a false sense of security where, like, you've beaten. Okay, yes, because this is what happened. This isn't what happened. You beat City in the FA Cup. You beat them in the league, and it's we're better than City. It's awesome. We're gonna ball, and then you didn't actually play their strongest team. And obviously, so
guys,
humbling by Leicester work.
You said we're better.
I want to talk about 2 things.
I'm insecure. I'm inferior.
Before we round up, I want to talk about 2 things. I'm going to go to Red Devil in this.
What?
Based on the report we're hearing from Fabrizio Romano, he said Frank Olusegun Lampard is going to be the new Crystal Palace manager. Give me your take on that.
Where is it? Where did he say? Oh yeah, Crystal Palace in contact and his agent is.
Yeah.
I don't know why though. Unless like what's Roy Hodgson?
I think Roy Hodgson is living in the
Yeah,
it was the one that recommended Lampard to them.
I mean, to be fair, Roy Hodgson is like what 73 or 4 or something. So
something like that.
I think he needs to, he needs. I would say why, just in the fact that Roy Hodgson does the job for Crystal Palace. They play decent football and he keeps them up. That's all you need to do. But he is like in his early to mid 70s. And I think for the sake of his own health, he will need to retire because the football is not great for the health. So in that perspective, I guess you give it to Frank Lampard, but I don't know. Like it's different with Chelsea. Obviously, it's the thing is that you need different managers for different projects and things. And obviously with Chelsea, it's about winning trophies, competing, etc. But there is also certain skill set when it comes to keeping a team in the Premier League. That is also, it's not just that, Lampard is not as good as the best manager in the world, therefore he can just walk into the Crystal Palace job and be fine. That's not how it's going to work. You have to have a certain skill set as well to keep players in. And if anything, more so.
Does he have the skill set? I'm not sure.
Yeah, does he have the skill? I'm not sure. I don't think he has necessarily the skill set to deal with relegation over 38 game season and to keep the players on side. because unlike top six teams, a top manager doesn't necessarily have to keep the players on side for a full season if you're a top six side, because you can maybe get away with the ability of certain players to get you through, even if you disagree. Jose was an example of that. With a relegation side, if you lose the dressing room, I mean that's it. I mean you can't stay. Like, so his man management skills have got to be better, and then obviously his tactics have got to be better, because he can't play this gun ho football that he was playing at Chelsea, which was expansive. He's got to be very defensive, So I don't know. I don't know whether it's going to work, to be honest. But Roy Hodgson obviously can't stay as Crystal Palace manager for the sake of his own health. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Blue Eyes, give me your take on Ibrahim Lampard to Palace.
Yeah, I mean, and so the story goes. So yeah, I think he will. I think he would work in Crystal Palace. I think there was once upon a time he wanted Benrahma at Chelsea, right? I think there was a time.
So. Yeah, I had the rumors too.
Towards the end of the trade deadline, I think.
Yeah, Said
Benrahma. Yeah, I'm not sure if Chelsea were one of the teams that wanted him at the time. And then, yeah, I think he'll fit their style. And they're sort of a young team, and
they have so many aging defenders who probably gonna live on a free in the summer. Exactly. I think the only problem that Lampard will have in that
do deal with Chelsea and get some of these young boys off the books.
Yeah, the problem is gonna have with Palace is with Zaha. It's a special player you cannot have a problem with, because that is the player that is carrying Palace. It's just too important to them. If you have a problem with Zaha, you're gonna have a problem with the whole team. He's just too good of a player.
How old is Zaha now?
27.
How old is Zaha?
27.
Zaha is a good player, very good player.
If you have a problem with Zaha, you're gonna have a problem with the Palace team entirely. So that's what the problem is. Is the vocal point of that
fit? To see him try to save them from relegation, keep them.
They're not in relegation. Palace are 12th in the table, so that's not relegation, man.
No, but at the end of the day, they always cut that line, that relegation line, once in a while.
I think then the manager will push them into like a European league, something like that.
Exactly.
Like
if they can get into that stage,
I'm not sure yet.
And then you now have to figure out what you're going to do with Michi Bishwai. You have to figure that out, because he's now part of your. No, he's not. Okay, is he coming back to Stamford Bridge this summer?
Yeah, it's still Chelsea's problem. It's not Crystal Palace problem. It's Chelsea's problem.
Oh boy,
man,
brother, payroll is full. Payroll is full.
Another Deadwood.
Oh my God!
Payroll is full, man.
We have suffered, man.
No, Bashwai is a legend. He's a Chelsea legend. Don't forget what he's doing.
Yeah, so in terms of being able to manage some of these players that he already has existing relationships with, that might be a plus for him. And and it's sort of like a comeback king story, especially coming back to a very good club like Crystal Palace. So yeah, why not? It shows progress. It's a vertical movement. But yeah, I know it's a down. I don't want to use the word that downgrade, but it's sort of a vertical movement where he can grow. And I look at Frank Lampard and I think he's going for that English job, English head coach. Sometimes I think about it that way, that he might be targeting that England head coach one day, man.
I mean, if there's anyone that's going directly for that, it's going to be Steven Gerrard. I mean, the dude basically has gone through. That's how you should do it with these things. Like, he's done it the right way. He literally has taken. I don't know why
I can see Gerrard being a better manager than Lampard. For me,
literally, he's made Rangers go for the season unbeaten. I know.
Red Devil, but Gary Southgate. Did Southgate do that?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't, which is wrong. So I think that you got to have. If you're talking about, I mean, as far as I'm aware, England fans are not saying that Southgate is going to win them a World Cup or something. People don't rate. This is a guy who's saying, right, you know what? I'm not going to play Jack Grealish. I'm going to play Eric Dyer. So no one rates Southgate.
But I think at the end of the day, unfortunately, it's not about the skill set. It's about your politicking, how you politic your way up there.
My problem is if Lampard is doing well in Palace, I already know I'm gonna get tweeted out. People's gonna kill me on social media because I was the advocate of Lampard in Chelsea.
I can see him
Now,
getting that English job.
But I'm just saying, if sorry, I didn't interrupt you, like if let's say Southgate bricks up in England and they say, right, we have Lampard, we have Gerrard, are you saying that Gerrard is not going to that Gerrard would turn down the England job?
I'm not sure, but I think Lampard would get it.
No, but on what basis? Is it because of what Gerrard is doing in the Scottish League?
That's what I'm trying to understand.
No,
like now,
you can look at it that Lampard performed and he wasn't horrible at the highest level.
And another thing, another resume, as my brother Sam, another resume is that half of that English team came from Frank Lampard's crop last season. A lot of those kids, Ben Chilwell, Mason Mount, Reece James, Hudson Odoi, under 21. What else? I mean, if you really want to compare their CVs on a practical level, Gerrard and Lampard. And I'm not trying to say this is Mourinho versus Hansi Flick. No, I know these are growing managers. But at the end of the day, man, I don't know. I just think
Gerrard basically destroyed Celtic dominance and scored over a decade and has basically gone for the season unbeaten. That is not because the thing, because people don't watch the Scottish, and I don't watch the Scottish Premier League, but at the same time, like you can't dismiss the fact that one, he stopped them from winning 10 in a row, and two, he's taken a team that was, and bearing in mind he took the same team to the quarterfinals of the Europa League as well, which Arsenal even bricked it last season. So with a team that is like what cost the same amount as Fred from United, to a quarters in the Europa League, gone undefeated in the SPL, and broken Celtic's record. All those three things are substantial given the resources that he had, clearly.
No. You can't say that because in the Scottish League, which other team spend the kind of money Rangers have?
But Rangers now. We're not talking about Rangers from before they got relegated. Rangers money wise now are spending nowhere different to Aberdeen or I won't say Hibernian, but like Aberdeen and what's the other one? Hearts, I think. Yeah, they spend equivalent money. If you look at the players,
I think they spend more though. I think they spend. They really supported Gerrard. Like,
not really. To be honest, I mean, I'm not saying they didn't spend, but like a lot of their dealings were some good loan deals. But it wasn't like they were spending 50 million. Certainly, they weren't spending any more than Celtic did.
Okay.
But what I'm saying though is, so you're saying that because you have a stellar quote unquote stellar record in league football, that should be the automatic qualification for the English job? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying with what because obviously Gerrard has been for 2 seasons, with Celtic.
Yes.
It's only based on 2 seasons, so you can see the progression. So not just this one. We're seeing that he's taken this team. Like obviously he's made right signings, and he's in 2 seasons he's been able to coach these players so much so that they've been able to dislodge the Celtic dominance in the SPL, and they've become unbeaten in the Scottish Premier League, and they progressed further in the Europa League, given the teams that they're to the quarterfinals. So if I then say, right, okay, given the lack of talent you have, and then take that to they
could have even got to the semis.
Sorry? They what?
Yeah, but the thing I just want to add is I think people make Lampard's career at Chelsea way worse than it was. I really don't think he was horrible. I think he competed at least. And quite all right, Chelsea have their own, but if you look at even his record for Chelsea, it wasn't horrible.
I don't think it's. I just think that it's like for me, maybe it's me, but the impression I get from looking is that I'm always a big one on man management. So I rate man management over everything, not over tactics, over something. How you manage a squad and a team, especially going into tournaments, is very, very important, and more so than necessarily making a tactic. So the impression I got from his Chelsea time, maybe not so much Derby time, but that was his first season. So comparing his first season to 3 is that even in the first season with Chelsea, I wasn't 100% sure that Lampard's managing the team and going to this was that great. Not terrible, but not that great. Whereas compared to Gerrard, with the squad that he has, he's been able to manage the squad so much so that everyone has been happy. Everyone's got the sufficient game time. And on top of that, he's improved the players that he had and then added to that squad. So, I mean, it's all
the only
opinion.
thing I'll add to that, the when you say man management, I think it's a different ball game entirely. Managing players that are playing for Rangers, especially even when you say they don't buy them for that much of money, and they don't have because you can't compare man managing players in Rangers to man managing players in Chelsea, like Giroud, who has won a World Cup, or Kante, who has been playing fully, or it's a totally different ball game. And that's just even when people say Lampard lost the dressing room, I truly don't believe that. I just feel it was the fact that Thomas Tuchel was available, and even his form when he got sacked, it was a little bit weird. It wasn't horrible form. It wasn't like
Sam. See, my problem with Lampard from day one. I love
no, Abdullah, you can say
you
you have a problem with him. I get that, but I'm just
Sam,
saying.
come on, man. Sam,
I have a problem. This is where Chelsea fans I understand what you're saying, Sam, and I understand what Red Devil is saying, but the hysteric is Lampard played for Chelsea Football Club for how many years? For a very long time. He has a brain to understand Chelsea has a structure, and if you don't meet up to that expectation, my brother, the door is always open. You're gonna get the hell out of that club. He knows that. So Chelsea has a very high expectation for him as a player. So him taking Chelsea job for me was a big risk. He should not have done from day one. I understand you're a legend. You want to succeed in this, want to do that. I completely do. Taking up Chelsea job is bigger for Lampard because I already know it's gonna collapse from the very first minute. Why are you taking the job? Going to Palace now. Yeah, for Palace, I think he's gonna succeed in Palace because Palace expectation is very low. It could take them maybe 6 or 7 position, 8, 9. Good, okay, in his first season because they have an expectation of we get that, we understand. It's a different than Chelsea expectation.
You think Palace will finish in the top half?
I think if Lampard took over, I think Palace will finish maybe max maybe 8th or 9th.
I think they're going to finish 13th.
No.
8th or 9th, maybe.
I think if he took over Palace, I think they're going to struggle to stay up.
Because I want to see how, because people say this, I want to see how it's gonna be a coach to Wilfried Zaha, because we know Wilfried Zaha. I know Wilfried Zaha is a madman when it comes to football. It doesn't listen.
Man. Just to add to Lampard though, I know at the end everyone have their own opinion, but I don't think he was a horrible manager.
He wasn't that horrible.
He wasn't experienced.
He wasn't just experienced.
It was because I saw Lampard take a Chelsea side without Kante last season, and a lot of people forget that. But Kante wasn't fit at all.
At all.
I think Kante played 10 games.
And he was injured majority of the season.
He was injured majority of we were playing with Jorginho and all these other guys. And he did a job. He did a job. So, and even this season, it was bad, but it wasn't what I would say is Abdullah, you have a good point that the expectation of Chelsea was way higher than what he expected. And I also feel the way Thomas Tuchel came in and just transformed the team made Lampard look way worse than he was. But at the end, even Thomas Tuchel now, we'll see what he will do these coming games to show if he can actually take the team.
If you can actually trust him that more going to the next season.
Because it's about getting them to the final round.
We have to find a way to neutralize Wilfred Onyenyembi.
You see what's making me laugh? 2 weeks ago, Lois was on high movie, chilling up, sitting on some couch, enjoying himself, drinking some beers, drinking some Lacazette. Now, 2 weeks after, you know what
I'm drinking whiskey. I've gone from Lacazette to whiskey.
Career without sugar.
No, because football is. I get the whole point of it's about wins and all that, but it's also about finishing the job.
Exactly.
And as bad as Lampard was last season, he did finish the job. I'm not saying he was a great manager, but he's not as bad as people make him seem.
I don't think anyone can say Frank Lampard's a bad manager.
Leave him out, man.
No, after that FA Cup game against Arsenal last year, you had to start putting him on performance review program, man. after that first game.
Well, I mean,
But you know, you could argue that we
if
played
does
better
what he
against
does
Arsenal than
these
this
last couple
Leicester
of
game.
games, you're not going to put him on review
Even
as well.
Tuchel is on performance review program after
Because
losing
I think the Arsenal
two low
game,
block games,
we
low
played
block
better against
related games.
Arsenal. We played better against
Yeah.
Arsenal than this Leicester team.
We have to look at his schematics closely now.
And
that Arsenal team had a Aubameyang and so that was doing pretty well. This less,
He was informed though. Aubameyang was informed.
Aubameyang was in the form of his life, and we still were unlucky with the red card. Pulisic getting injured, but this last game against Leicester, he just showed that when he makes his formation, Chelsea
guys,
fans
guys, I don't know how this is reliable and trustful. Karim Benzema could be called off to the French national team for the Hero and the World Cup coming up.
Did they call him up?
He's not going to go. He's not going to go.
Wow.
That can't be
He's
true.
not going to go.
If they call
Karim Benzema.
If they call him, they're going to win.
Look, I'm like the relationship has already been fractured.
Yeah,
it's been
I don't think
a
he's
long
going to
time.
go.
It's been what, like since 2015. So
Yeah.
How true is this? Let me
I don't think he's going to go.
Karim Benzema.
No, it's fake. It's fake.
Are you saying bye-bye Giroud?
Yeah, this is what I saw.
Are you saying bye-bye Giroud?
Like this guy.
Tomorrow's for the because the job is gonna announce this tomorrow.
They have Giroud though.
They have Giroud, yeah.
They don't need
Giroud.
Giroud, if you can't Benzema, are you kidding me? Giroud can go anywhere he wants.
No, this is 2020.
No, but it's not going to happen. It's just not realistic. I mean, you can reminisce about it. You can speculate, but I think we all know it's not going to happen.
That's
not worth the conversation.
No, but we'll just have to wait and see.
We have to wait for the score tomorrow.
I mean, you can't wait and see because this thing is the relationship is being fractured since 2015.
Abdullah, just on Lampard into Crystal Palace actually. I think it would be a perfect fit for him. You know the funny thing, as bad as we were last season, I think we played one of the best football I've watched Chelsea play.
So they're gonna replace Benzema with Giroud. Giroud will not be called up.
See, I just want Lampard under Lampard was when we played under Conte the last season. I didn't watch Chelsea games again because it was two things: we're losing and we're playing horrible football. Under Lampard, I have to say it's one of the best football I've watched. I don't know if you can do that with Crystal Palace, but I do feel
which was the best football? Which game?
They played more attacking football under Lampard. It's true. It's right.
No, see, it was entertaining, and you know why I would say it was entertaining because it was both ways, meaning we were scoring and we were conceding. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's what made it more entertaining. I don't know.
That's not entertaining. That's called suicidal.
Sam, I understand what you're saying.
Why do you want?
But you know what I'm not gonna accept. We considered 67 goals in a season.
But that was
that's
ridiculous. With the same Kepa,
that's attacking football. That's called attacking football.
That's attack. And let's be real, we didn't have Kante. See, there were two things that were missing that last season. We didn't have Kante and we had Kepa.
No, Sam.
No, wait. We
No.
didn't have Kante. Wait, can I just finish this? We didn't have Kante. We didn't have Rudiger, who a lot of people are saying is the leader of this team. And we had Kepa.
Can I explain why we didn't have Rudiger? Rudiger was it wasn't because I'd also argue the system did not necessarily benefit.
What are you saying? Rudiger was injured the whole season. Come on, man.
I know.
He was injured the whole season. What system?
But he was also really poor this season. It's not like as soon as Tuchel stepped in that he just decided to become.
No. I'm just talking about the whole fact of Lampard in Crystal Palace and.
Sam, what I'm trying to say is, as much you can speculate and come up with all these hypotheticals, but all I know is it reached a point where we just lacked identity. Like there was nothing left in the team. There was no direction. If you know what I mean. Like you look at that Leicester game. There's no direction. And that's the point of
I think you guys are getting me all wrong here. I'm not saying I'm not talking of last season. I'm not talking of last season. I get what you said. No, the only thing I said about last season was that number one, I don't feel we were as bad as people made it seem. We lost maybe 2-3 games. It wasn't like, oh, bad form for maybe 6 games in a row. It wasn't anything like that. And this whole Lampard to Crystal Palace, what I'm just saying is that I do feel he has, because some people say he doesn't have a style of football, he has no tactics,
He has a
all
style of
those things.
football. He has a
I
style.
do not believe that. I think he has a good style of football with the right players. And I think his actual style of football is very entertaining, fast football. There's a reason he bought ZH. One reason he bought ZH was that ZH, as bad as he is, he's very good at progressing the ball without running with it, just giving those passes from deep. He likes that kind of football, like the fastest way to get it to your strikers, all that. That's one of the reasons Tammy Abraham actually had a good season under him. So yeah, I think it would be good to see Lampard coach someone like Benteke. Even I think Batshuayi wouldn't be a bad fit for him to sign Batshuayi for Crystal Palace. And you have Zaha, you have Eze, you even have Townsend. So I think it's a good squad. It would be a good squad to see what Lampard can do. Because I still have faith in the guy that maybe with a little bit of experience we can see a really good manager. And just to finish it up, this season, I actually expected our season to be like this because we bought 8 players, and a lot of people think, oh, if you buy 8 players with 200 million, that means you need to win the title. But for me, I felt those players needed to play together at least for a season before they can actually title
And those are
challenge.
young players too.
Exactly, young players. Some people just think, oh, you spent 200 million, that means you bought the title, you have to get it. No, I didn't expect that. I expected a whole season where they actually get to know each other. Because you see Song and Kane, why they play so well together is that they've done it so much that they know it's almost telepathic. They know where the other person will be.
Of course.
Yeah. Emmy, how you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm doing well. Oh, sorry, Jerry. I'm doing
We're
good.
speaking
And
about
then,
so many. We're speaking about so many stuff. 5 minutes. Just give us your take on Harry Kane, Romelu Lukaku, and Frank Lampard to Crystal Palace.
yeah, so the Hurricane store busted this afternoon or this morning, or this evening, depending on where you are in the world. But Hurricane I think Hurricane will go to a Manchester club. I don't know which one. Maybe Man U probably will suit him the best. I know
He's
they
not
just signed
going to
Cavani.
Manchester United. He's not going to Manchester United. But carry on.
But I don't also think he's going to Chelsea either because Daniel Levy will not sell to Chelsea.
It's not gonna work. Over my, I can't say that. I'm sorry.
I think this sports fans are very violent and they'll do something very crazy that ever even thinks of going through. So I think he will actually fit very well in Guardiola's system. He's this season we found out he could drop deep, to actually create play. I won't be surprised, Pep actually has a word with him because he can play the Pep style too. He's good. He's good with his feet. He can pass the ball. He can shoot. He can dribble. He can dribble a bit. He doesn't really dribble a lot, but at least he can make play. I don't see him going to Chelsea. I know that hurts many Chelsea fans. Well, I doubt if he'll go to
It's not gonna hurt me. It's not gonna hurt me because I know the reality. It won't happen.
I think it's more realistic to go for Lukaku in Chelsea. I think with Harry Kane being available, that drops Lukaku's price because the more options are available, they'll have to drop their price, and maybe who knows, we sign Lukaku for 85, 90 million. That's not bad.
80 million. Antonio Conte is
looking like
Antonio Conte is living in Inter Milan.
Exactly.
It's not confirmed yet, right? It could happen. And Inter Milan also have financial issues, so they have to sell. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. They will have to sell in Inter
What was that? What was that?
Easy. Easy. Relax.
So, talking about who next, Lampard to Palace, that would be a good move for him. Although Crystal Palace is losing about 7 to 8 players this summer. Most of their players are down on their contracts, are all up, right? So, and it's good because most of their old players like Cahill, a lot of them are out of contract this summer at the same time. Even Van Aanholt, all those players. I think you see Lampard will probably come in and refresh the squad. I see him raiding La Cobhama. Like I think he'll come to Cobham and pick a couple of youngsters. Some players that I think I won't be surprised he picks up a couple of them, signs them for Crystal Palace, because to play Lampard style of football you need youths. I don't think the old guys will be able to run like Townsend. You tell Townsend to run 13 kilometers in a match, it's not going to happen, right? Yeah, I think it's a good learning opportunity for him for sure. It's good if he goes there. Then who else? You said Lukaku. I think Lukaku will be the best striker Chelsea needs if he comes. I think he gives Chelsea different options. He gives them the target man option. His ball play movement, he has improved a bit under Conte. Compared to what people saw in Manchester United, I think under Conte actually improved Lukaku. Lukaku is slimmer. He's not bulky anymore. He's slimmer. He still kept his upper body strength. He's slimmer. He's faster. At least I watched Inter a couple of times.
I also do. Yeah.
And I was really impressed with the way he links up playing with Lautaro. And one of my cons with Lukaku is that he might want to play in a two-striker system. I think we have that already in Chelsea. I think maybe him playing with Werner or playing Havertz playing off of him next season probably will be a very good option. And then I still think we need that progressive midfielder though. That will be the Fabregas kind of that link for us. Like people say Verratti is that player. I don't know. Yeah, there are a lot of options, but I don't really see Verratti leaving PSG anyway. Well, there's going to be a lot of options once. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of options, but for sure, if we get Lukaku, we need to get that Fabregas-like player at Chelsea.
100, man, you're speaking truth here, because I literally just thought about it in a 4-4-2 system, and probably if we have Kante, we need to play with a pivot of 2-6. So the other 6 has to be someone with that ability of Fabregas. If not, the system would actually lack creativity.
So apparently, what we need is a player that has Jorginho, Kovacic, and a bit of guile in him that can actually shoot. Also, if they get an opportunity, at least shoot at goal, not shoot it to Z. So if we get that kind of player, yeah, that would be fantastic. Added with Lukaku, I still think we need a right back. I'm not very comfortable with Reece James. I know. He's very unpopular, but I still think he has a lot of learning to do. And I'm not saying someone to block his path, but I'm saying someone to give him some competition, right? If we're going to switch to a back four, because in a back four system, you need your two fullbacks to bomb forward and actually, create those overloads in the wide areas, right? And if they have to bomb forward, they have to have the ability to beat a man. I think Reece James is molding himself. Maybe he still has a lot to grow, to learn, but I still think we need a very dynamic right back, someone that can give us a different.
Emmy, I'm just curious to ask you this. I mean, so Marcus Alonso and Emerson are obviously they want to leave, and the club wants to sell. So I would maybe if you could get a left back to challenge Ben Chilwell, because Chilwell, I'm not convinced.
I'm still not convinced too. I know. I know why I didn't call Chilwell yet, because for me, I'm not convinced.
So which one would you prioritize?
That's a good question. Which one will I prioritize? I think there are options from our academy to fill the left back role. I think there's Maxim, there is Livramento. I think Livramento.
Oh, those guys are not good enough, bro.
You think they're not good enough? They're not good enough.
And Matson would be the most likely.
Use their academy.
Not good enough.
The thing is that if you would have to choose between Reece James and Chilwell, in my opinion, I do feel Chilwell It edges it
Really?
just a little bit. See,
Can we also just say
Chelsea
that,
fans are really
Luke
biased
Shaw's
with
better
Reece
than
James.
both of those players? Just
Yeah, man, you
FYI.
can have that, Red. You can have that. That's cool.
Awesome.
But
Go
the
on.
thing is that I think Reece James is really overrated. If England think they
But
will
Sam, what
take
I'm
that
trying to
guy
say is,
as
I think it'd be much more. Sorry, my bad. I think it'd be much more smarter to get like a backup left back because we're gonna lose all of them except
no,
Joel,
because you're a
right?
Reece James fanboy. You know me, I'm very objective.
I'm not a
with
Reece James fanboy.
Come on,
No,
the moment he said
which
Reece
one is?
James,
Samuel, I think what every player in world football needs competition. I think Reece James also needs
Yes, yes,
competition.
but
He lose
Abdullah,
guard a
you
lot.
can't only have one left back. That's dangerous. You know.
but we can have one right
We only
back.
have one right back at United. Who's the other right back in Manchester United?
That's
Daniel,
not good.
what's
That's
the
not
other guy? Brandon
Who?
Williams.
Brandon Williams is the right back. He's a left back.
The left back.
But he's
True.
right-footed.
Plays right back.
He should play on the right.
So where
Yeah.
so Bissaka doesn't play, who plays?
Yeah.
I'm not a Reece fanboy. I'm just saying that it would be much more practical to get a backup left back. That would
Okay,
need a better
yeah. My bad.
No,
I
at the end, that's why I
still
said
feel
Martinelli.
there's Alonso.
I still feel Chelsea made a mistake to let Lamptey go. Lamptey would have been that player, but Lamptey probably left because he was like, Lampard is going to be here long term, and there's no point. Lampard has already chosen Reece over me. But that Arsenal game that announced Lamptey as a Chelsea player, he made so much impact in that. Was it 45 minutes or how many minutes he played?
Yeah.
Boy, that boy can play ball. I was like, we have this kind of player.
No, the thing is, they tried their best to keep him. He didn't want to stay.
Yeah, but it's because of the way the club already said, "Oh, Reece James is going to be our right back," right? Because if they told him that, I think so. I think, but who do you prefer? I'll ask Abdullah. Who do you prefer, Lamptey or Reece James?
I've seen both of them play a little bit, and I've seen Reece James. My problem with Reece James is going forward is a little bit good, but my problem is playing by defending. It looked like a suspect to me. Like as a professional footballer, you need to have this thing called this thing like you have to know how to go right-footed. When you're attacking, you're gonna be very good, and also defending gonna be good. The reason we rate Alexander Arnold is very good on it. When in terms of crossing, Arnold is very good in that, but he has a problem defending. That's his attribute. But we know one attribute to Trent is its crossing is second to none. It's just too brilliant in crossing, and it's also like precision. When he cross, you know that ball is going to wherever he wants to go to. But when James cross, I have a problem with that because I'm not sure if my striker is going to even put his head into that crossing. That's my problem with it. And when he defends, I have a question mark with his defending because sometimes he lose guard a lot.
Abdullah, you brought a really good point here because I like the fact you use Trent because with Trent, I won't even say crossing. Offensively, when it comes to attacking, I don't think there's a right back that is really close to Trent. He's exceptional at it. And the problem with Reece James is that he's not exceptional going forward, and even defensively, he's not exceptional. That's another thing with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Bissaka is exceptional defending.
Yep.
And I feel sometimes there's this thing about football is that if a player has a very good strength, sometimes you can play to that strength in a way. But with Reece James, you don't really have that because offensively he's all right, he's good. Defensively he's good, but none of them are like a 10 over 10. None of them are top class. So that's just my own problem with him. I would prefer Chelsea getting a defensive right back even that I know defensively is going to lock that right side down. So offensively is going to strike.
So who do you say is available of that sort of high caliber of, say, a defensive or an attacking?
That's why I said letting Lamptey go was a big mistake because we should have kept both Reece James and Lamptey together for competition. Because if one is doing bad, at least we can say we have someone else who can put Reece James on his shoe. What Reece James is a competition. He needs a competition. That's what he needs.
Because I know I said the point about Luke Shaw being better, but an argument for Luke Shaw being better this season is because United signed Alex Telles with the intention of him coming in to start.
Yeah.
To be honest, replace. Because to be honest, Luke Shaw, whatever it's United, Luke Shaw's probably had the best seasons had for Manchester United this season.
Yeah.
And that I can only tie that to the fact that Alex Telles was supposed to come in to replace him, and he just couldn't get into the squad because Luke dropped his game. So, I think that so in that sense, getting someone, you need to get someone.
You can bring in academic player of Livramento.
Yeah,
You need that guy a lot.
necessarily sign someone
Livramento is
well
not good enough. I feel like.
Samuel, it doesn't need to be good enough as long as in the squad and you can understand what the manager wants.
He's not ready, but here's what I'm afraid
Samuel.
that
You cannot say he's ready. Why? You know why? Because at
he needs
least
a loan. He needs a loan. Like
All
Reece
these
got a
things
loan.
are assumptions, though. Some players come in and we have to be very
Yeah.
careful when we make
If we're
like
afraid to
distinct
assume, then why are we
like
having this
this.
discussion?
No,
I'm just thinking that if Livramento or one of these youngsters impressed during preseason, I know Tuchel very well. He will develop that player and say, "Hey, you're not going alone. You're staying in the squad, and yeah, I'll put you on our belt and probably give you some cup games to see how you move up. It's not a bad thing. I think for this fullback situation at Chelsea, and I always say the best teams always have that very good dynamic fullback. Look at the Bayern Munich team last season. They had what's his name, the Canadian guy,
Alfonso Davis.
Alfonso Davis. Yeah, bumping all the way forward. Because when you have those fullbacks that can bump forward, they create that extra man and that ability to actually overload one side of the field, giving you guys the man advantage. And guess what? You can get someone that can drive into the box, they can put that ball into the half space, and boom, almost you have an opportunity to score because they'll be able to drag other players out. The problem with Reece is I don't see him in the box enough for a fullback. Some fullbacks get in there and actually make themselves count. It's unfortunate. I think hopefully he gets, I know maybe Tuchel probably has said a lot already, but I think Tuchel can do some work with Reece. Let's see, let's see him for a whole
great
season.
point you brought there.
We need to be
Because
patient.
Chilwell, I actually see Chilwell in the 18. Yeah, Chilwell actually knows when to cause those overload, and that's why even if you notice, if you see the goals, most of the goals Chilwell got, it was him being inside the box at the right time and actually
Correct.
causing those overload. But with Reece James, you can never see that. It's almost
Nope.
impossible.
And the thing with Reece James is, bro, you have the body, you have the size. Reece James is built like a striker. He could actually even be a striker. But the thing is, he just
You
doesn't
guys are
have
writing
that
him off too
confidence.
early, though.
I'm not writing
Yeah, this is why I said Samuel is Reece James fanboy, because he's
I'm
making
not
it
a
seem
Reece
now
James
that we're
fanboy.
saying
This is
no,
completely
you just
unreasonable.
listen.
All I've said
Okay.
is he's displayed enough. He's displayed enough to gain our trust. The guy has a strength. He can cross the ball. No, you need to
no
give
one
him
is saying
time.
that we don't even trust
To be honest,
him. But the fact is
I
that
would
he can't
argue
be
you
the
hate on
ball.
Reece James. You scapegoat him way too much.
No, I'm not hitting on. No, I can't hit on.
Not Emmy. Sam.
Like,
I'm not talking to you, Emmy. I'm talking to Sam.
okay.
No, see,
You
that's the
scapegoat
thing.
Reece James
I
way too
think
much.
you're thinking. The only thing I said is that the guy needs. Number one, I don't feel
Good player.
he
He's
even
a good
deserves
player.
our trust. I don't think he deserves our trust yet. I don't think he deserves a starting spot week in, week out. Let me just say it like that. I think he needs competition, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying we should sell
And you
him.
think
I'm not
Chilwell
saying
does?
no. Wait. I'm not saying that we should sell him. I'm not saying that he's not good enough for Chelsea. All I'm saying is that the guy needs competition. He shouldn't have a spot week in, week out, and that he needs to improve. You can tell me that
But
is
then
me
why are you
hating on
labeling me?
him. No, you can
Why
say
are you
that's me hating
labeling
on
me
him, but no.
a Reece James fanboy?
Because you're okay. Let me tell you why I say you're a Reece James fanboy. Because everything that Emmy and I have talked about right now, we never said he wasn't a good player. We never said anything really negative about him. All we said is that he needed competition, and for some reason you feel that no,
No.
he does. Like you.
I never said he doesn't need
countering that.
competition. I just say from squad balance, he already has Aspilicueta behind him. We need a left back. We need a second left back after Chilwell. We need practically.
Samuel, you know what I'm
No. Can I just ask you a real quick question?
Emmy,
Who has
hold on.
had more
You know what
of
I'm
an
gonna
impact this season? Reece
say
James
about?
or
You know what I'm
Chilwell?
gonna say about it?
No, Samuel, who has had more of an impact this season, Rhys James or Chilwell?
Well, it depends. It
Wow,
really
you,
does
you're
depend
really
because
saying it depends.
no,
Okay.
yes, I am going to say it depends because at some point in the season, Reece James was our only good player. I'm talking before that Everton game when we lost 1-0. You remember?
No, without Chilwell, that Porto.
Under Lampard?
Yes.
Before we lost to Everton, we lost to.
You don't remember?
Without
Before that Everton game.
We played Leeds, right? We beat Leeds, right? 4-2 or 3-1.
No, he had a bunch of good performances before that Everton game.
No one is even saying that James had a bad performance, but if you look at this season, Chilwell and Reece James, Chilwell has been more impactful than Reece James this season.
I'm just saying that if we have to move forward as a club and Chelsea, because
what I'm trying to say is I was called a Reece James fanboy for suggesting getting a second left back.
It's okay. Don't take it too personal, man.
I'm sorry, man.
No.
Don't take it too personal.
No.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm not
I'm sorry,
taking it
man.
personal.
If you took it personal, I'm sorry.
Samuel, see.
Find your rationale.
Okay, I apologize.
Chelsea will gather.
I apologize.
Samuel, Chelsea will rather promote an academic player to the first team than buying so many players, because they will tell you Reece James is good enough, or we're gonna buy a player. They will rather believe they can promote the player in the academic team into the first team, which I've seen them do under Lampard. So future community.
The question is, which so we want to win the league next year, right? I think that's the goal, right?
That's the goal, yeah.
Academic player, yeah, that's the goal next season. No ifs or buts. Chelsea is going to win the league next year. That's what I'm pushing for. So if Reece James, because we're going to play at least 60 matches next season, and you think that we're going to play with only one right back, because Aspi cannot do that work,
No.
20 or 30 games next year. Because we're going to play for the back. We're not playing this 3 at the back next season. So this is not long term. This 3 at the back was just to keep us solid and push us to our objectives for the end of this season. Next season, Tuchel is going to 4 at the back. Now, for him to play 4 at the back, he needs some addition. He can coach Reece James to be that player for him. But the thing is, I think for his, exactly what this guy said about Luke Shaw this season when he brought in what's his name, the guy they brought in from Porto to push him. I think we need to bring someone to push Reece James, and that you will now be able to see the real Reece James. Because Reece James, I watched him in Wigan 2 seasons ago, or no, 3 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago. And he was good. He was the player of the season in Wigan, right? He could play midfield. He has a very good shot. He can hit the ball, right? He could cross. He could, thing is, when he has come to Chelsea, and you see, he tried that risky pass against Leicester on Saturday, the one that led to the goal. I know a lot of people don't give him a lot of fault for that goal, but he had options to pass to Aspi on the right, or even turn back and pass to Kepa, right?
The thing.
He chose to make that risky pass, and that risky pass, he tried to pass to Kante, who was already pressed by Ndidi and one other player, and then he had Alonso in front of him. That's 3 players. How are you going to get that ball to Kante, who was about at least 15 yards from you? And that's where they intercepted our ball.
The thing is that pass showed how inexperienced he still is, because it was an unnecessary pass.
He doesn't need to make that pass.
It was so unnecessary. I couldn't believe he made that pass. There was no reason to make that pass. See, the thing. If you even look at Chilwell this season, when Alonso took his place, that happened to him. That when he came back, he fought for his position and he actually did well. And a lot of people forget that Chilwell's Porto goal, because let's be real, if he didn't score that Porto goal, only God knows what would have happened. People forget that. Even at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season. Yeah, the one he scored. At the beginning of the season, it was very good too. The only thing I'll say is that Reece James, he's a good player for the squad, and The fact is that for sure, if and this is my opinion, anyone can have their own opinion. If I would choose one side, because Chelsea have Alonso and they still have this guy.
Both of them are going in the summer. Emerson. Both of them are going in the
They're
summer.
getting sold. That's my point.
Okay,
They're all
okay,
leaving.
yeah. But right now, I'm just talking about right now, since the both of them are there.
Are you
That
sure?
right
Are
side,
you sure?
you know the fun.
Are you
Yeah, both
sure?
of them are getting sold. Yeah. I saw the news. They are getting
Okay,
sold.
we'll see.
They want to
Okay,
leave,
a lot of
and the
people are
club
very
wants to
sure,
sell them.
so we'll see next season how sure they are. But you know the thing with Reece
Oh, yeah,
James,
we're
you
sure.
can see that he has already lost his position in this place, in this team right now. Aspi has benched him. Doesn't have that right back position anymore. It's Aspilicueta. And if Christensen was fit, he wouldn't play that Leicester game. That's just fact.
Oh
So
yes. Oh, we reached Christensen. So that's another X factor. A lot of people don't know. But
exactly.
Christensen in that right center back role will win Leicester. Will beat Leicester because
Sorry.
100%.
First of all, he and Rudiger are the pace guys. In that back three.
And it's very and Christian is very good. He's a ball player center back. He's very good on the ball.
Oh
He can
yeah.
pass the ball very well.
Sarri called him a technical center
Christensen
back.
is almost on when it comes to pressing.
Wait.
He
So I
always
speak on
makes the
Reece
right
James.
decision.
Yeah, speak on it, James.
Yeah.
MK Dons, go for it with James.
Reece James is a good right back, but in football, right? There's nuances of the game that I think he doesn't know yet, but that comes with experience. Like there's times where you time your run. You know what I mean? It's just timing your run, being an influence up across the whole flank, not just a certain zone, but across the whole thing. And that comes with time. I feel like he's a very good player. Defensively, I think he still has work to do. In terms of
So let me ask you a quick question.
really
About your first
being
point.
aware of his surroundings.
That first point you just dropped, do you think he's coachable?
Okay.
You think he will be coachable to be able to get to that point where he knows now how to advance the game?
Oh yeah. Reece. Yeah, I think Reece James is coachable, but respectfully, I like Aspi, but he shouldn't be the right back for Chelsea. If I'm being 100% honest, he shouldn't be the guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's an incredible servant to the club. I'm talking purely football. He shouldn't be. He should because Aspi, I think, in my opinion, he doesn't have the legs. His legs aren't there anymore. Really, like he can still play, but I'll say this might be his last proper season of very good football, of very very good football. After this, I see the minutes going down. So I'll say right back. Yeah.
And this is the thing you have to look at. Tuchel has a
Do you think Chelsea?
problem.
Let's ask MK Jones. Do you think that Chelsea should look for a right back to compete with James, though? Based on your point.
I don't think. See, I think if Aspilicueta want to go, I've been looking at two very good academic players in the under 18 and stuff. I think Livramento and Ayat Maxim for me will be a very good position in terms of just because now they will save money in terms of
no.
Yeah, see, they don't need to play.
Are you sure we don't need experience?
Yeah, we need experience. I understand what you're saying. Let me explain.
I know for a fact Martin is right back.
Let me explain. I know we need experience. I know, but I think James can still play. He's still like 20 or 21 years of age. I think he need a competition for him, that someone that will elevate his game, that will make him look much better. I don't want an experienced player that will just come to the team, sit down on the bench and collect money that we don't want to play. I need a player that will compete, that will make Chilwell be on the back foot, that will make him want to become the best right back, the best left back in England. That will make him that competition will be good. That's why I say I've been watching Ian Martin very well, and I'm very good. It's a very good left back. I've seen him play. It's very direct. He can defend. He can attack. He can even shoot. He can even cross the ball very well.
I like Ian Martin. I don't know Ian Martin.
I've seen him.
I'm just saying. Look, Abdullahi, if you want to motivate James,
very good at it.
we need to get an experienced right back, experienced.
Exactly.
But
But I
not
think it
one
would
that
be
is
unfair
fighting
to
to
him.
get to the team. Man.
It would be unfair to
You
the
need
Gents
some.
to
You need
get
some.
a younger right back
You
for
need
him
someone.
Yeah,
than
You
the
need.
yeah.
You
same
need
thing
someone.
here.
You need some. Yeah. You need someone to improve him. Yeah. No. Yeah. You need someone to improve him. Really help improve his game.
Exactly.
It's the nuances of
Exactly.
football. You need to know when to time your run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not. You need like what Red
And
Devil
that
said with Alex
ability.
Tejas. Someone like
But
someone
NK
of that
Dons,
profile.
nuances learned with experience. I don't know if you can.
So guys, let's just round up this
Let's
review so
observe.
we
I
can
don't
now
know.
get it. I wanna
Of
round
course
up
you
with
can.
something.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
Yeah,
Not everyone, but
I
of
wanna
course you
round up
can.
with something.
Sorry.
I don't know if it's an
I think
observation. Maybe.
Samuel sent me something this afternoon. And I look at the report and I shake my head. And I think Sam already talked about this person before. And he quoted that said, if this guy doesn't improve, I think he has to be sold.
Who's
And
that?
I have to come to Sam on this. Sam, your
Who?
boy, Kalem Asinadoi, could be sold this summer.
No, that's not going to happen. I don't think
Sam,
so.
based on the
Hmm?
report, I think Chu could be
Maybe
sold
loan.
this summer.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they will sell Cho though. If you
What
ask
is your
me,
The thing
Sam?
is,
I'll come to you, Emmy. Sam, your
yeah,
take on control being sold.
yeah. My own with Cho has always been if he's getting sold, who are we replacing him with?
I'm hearing Jadon Sancho.
If it's Jadon Sancho, then it's bye bye.
but
I would say bye
but
bye to him. And you know
no,
what? If they want to sell him, wait, I mean,
Like
wait.
that, right?
If
Like
they
that.
want to sell him, let them put a
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
buyback clause.
Sam.
Let them put a
Yes,
buyback
yes,
clause.
yes.
And I
NK,
want the
it's
same
okay. Relax.
buyback clause
Easy.
that Regulon had. You know the buyback clause Madrid put on Regulon said, I want
Yes,
exactly that
that's for true.
if they
Yep.
want to sell Cho.
no,
If I
but
may
I
say it,
don't. So yeah, but you know, for Hudson Odoi, right? At Chelsea currently, we only have Hudson
Mm-hmm.
Odoi as our out and out winger. He's the only natural winger in the club. Period. Pulisic is not really.
Is a right winger. Is a
Pulisic is
winger.
not.
Is a very alternate winger.
He's not. He's not really a winger. He's
Pulisic
like
is the
he's
number
like
10.
he's like an inverted forward, right? I won't say Pulisic is a winger. Pulisic likes to cut in and shoot, or cut in, dribble and shoot at goal. He's not. Pulisic cannot cross the ball. I can't remember him crossing the ball very well. As Pulisic really crossed the ball a lot at Chelsea. He's someone that just dribbles in.
With most of his scorer.
You know the thing, they asked Pulisic what's his best position, his favorite position. He said it's the number 10.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
plays
he
number
always
10
plays
for the
number 10.
US national team. Yeah, he plays that for the US national team, right? But what I'm saying for Hudson Odoi, he's the only natural winger Chelsea has. He can beat a man, he can dribble, he can create. That Everton game that Chelsea,
And I think based on
won.
based on the report, I think Chelsea want to go for Sancho, and I think they will give them Kalamasin Odoi. I'm not sure they're gonna. I'm not sure they're gonna buy plus. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Okay, can I ask
Why
this
not let go of
question?
Ziyech and bring in Sancho? Because I feel like Callum. I feel like Callum and Sancho they can work
has
together.
more. Yeah, exactly.
Right now we only have
on the
two
left.
proper wingers. We only have two proper wingers, and
I think that'll be. I think that'll be a big mistake because we're going to play a different system next year that needs real wingers. And if you're selling your only natural, because you cannot play Timo Werner in the wings, you can't play Pulisic in the wings. He'll be lost.
Guys, there's too many players.
I cannot see
You know
Timo in the
the
wings.
thing, Hudson Odoi, I would have said Hudson Odoi should stay if he had this one attribute that he has totally lost. I don't believe he can beat a man anymore. He hasn't done that.
No, he can't.
He did it against City.
He did it against City.
He did. What he did to the lead up to that goal, that was Callum, man.
Watch that goal.
Callum.
Watch that goal. He didn't beat him. He just passed.
Sam, don't do it,
he
man.
faked.
Watch the goal again.
NK, did you see how he weaved? He weaved through all those players.
He didn't beat the guy. He passed.
No. Sam, all I'm trying to say, this guy is one of our only players that can beat him, man.
Samuel, please watch that Man City goal again. Just watch it again and tell me if he beat a man or he passed. He passed the ball.
He passed the ball.
You can say that he's been the best. He's our most impactful substitution. He's our most impactful substitution.
NK, I'm not saying he's not good, but if you give me Sancho or Hudson Odoi, just because of Sancho has one thing that I feel Hudson Odoi, Sancho is an amazing dribbler.
I'm taking true.
I just feel Sancho is an amazing dribbler. I think his IQ
No,
Sam, I
passing in
agree
the
with you. Sam, I agree with
You
you.
don't
I
think
just
you don't
think
think
if you get
Caltech is good at dribbling?
is
no, he
better
is,
than
but no,
Hudson-Odoi by
Sancho is
far.
better. Come on, man.
we have to be very, very
Sancho is
careful
better.
with Sancho,
But I'm saying sell Ziyech. Sell Ziyech and bring
Sancho
Sancho.
has not. Sancho was a flop at Man City.
Are you serious? You tell me a 16-year-old is a flop?
Dude,
Are you serious?
no,
What are
you
you
can't
saying?
say that, bro.
What are you
You
saying,
can't
man?
He
say
was
that.
not.
How
It
you
was
tell me a
not.
16-year-old is a flop?
Okay, so let me change that back. So Pep was not able to bring him into the team like he did for Foden, right? Sancho was a youth product,
Wait,
right?
can I ask you a question? Do you think Hudson-Odoi plays for Man City?
Hudson-Odoi. If Pep holds Hudson-Odoi,
At that
he'll
age?
coach him.
At that age, he's not playing for Man City, bro. There's no coaching in the
Oh
world.
yeah.
That team is too. That team. How many of Chelsea's starting 11 plays for Man City? Let's be real. That's not a good. That's not a good.
Sam, you do know that. You do know that. Sam, you know that what's it called? That is known within the English youth system that Cho is the best academy talent in the past 5 or 6 years, and you're just gonna let this guy. You're just gonna let this guy go, huh? You're this guy.
No,
Come
okay,
on
you
now.
heard my. You
Come
see
on,
what
bro.
I
Like,
said? I
come on,
said.
man.
I
I'm
said
not even giving up
number
for
one.
Sancho.
If
This
it's
is something that
Sancho,
Chelsea should
I'll
keep,
put
man.
a buyback clause. I'll put a buyback clause like regular buyback clause.
No, nobody buy because first of all, nobody's going to buy him.
Okay. Sam,
But
you
you
said
heard
bye
that.
bye. You said bye
Nobody,
bye.
I
I
don't
thought
need
that was
to go like
disrespectful.
that. No, you know why I say
nobody
that?
also will be afford his wages. Also, 160 a week. Nobody's going to pay him 160 a week, and he just signed a contract last season. He has
See,
4 years left.
the thing with Hudson-Odoi is I want more from him. I wish Blue Eyes was here too. Let's be real. I'm not saying that he's not a good player, but I do feel that he needs to up his game. He needs to
No,
up his game
it's
a
not
lot.
just up his game, Sam. I also think that he
he
has
needs
not
to up his
gotten the
game.
run of games. He has not gotten the run of games. If Hudson-Odoi is given 5 games or 6 games, you will see a different level of Hudson-Odoi.
Let me tell
He
you
has
why.
not gotten. He has not gotten that
Can I
6
tell you
run
why
of
he
games.
hasn't gotten a run of games? Because there's this thing with Hudson-Odoi that I saw even under Lampard. He plays one game good, plays another game very good. Then the third game, he will be almost like a 0%. That it's like almost
It's
he's not in
shocking.
the game.
No, Sam, that's what I'm trying to say. Keep him because he has potential.
No, Samuel, I totally agree with you. But if you're telling me that you can get Sancho and Hudson-Odoi right now, I'm not saying maybe 2 years ago I would have picked
Sam,
Hudson-Odoi,
Sam and
but
guys, let me
right
put it
now
this way.
I'll choose
Can there
Sancho.
be a scenario
Sam, what I'm
where
trying
we
to say is sell Ziyech and bring him in because then we can have 3 proper
Yeah,
wins.
that's a good one too.
Guys, can there be a scenario where we're gonna have Sancho and Odoi together in a team?
Exactly,
That would
that's
be
what Samuel is
perfect.
saying.
Like,
If there's a scenario like that, that is the
Yeah,
best
they won
scenario.
the they won the under 17 World Cup together, playing
That's
together,
still a bit.
right?
I think
but
that
think about it
at
because
some point in time you're gonna have
guys,
to
this
start
guy can play on the left and the right
or
wing.
Pulisic.
So, guys, are you telling me there's gonna be a scenario where we're gonna have Sancho,
There's no point in time where you're gonna have to start
and Cho
Pulisic
together?
or Cho.
Exactly, have to be a point. Have to.
No, I don't think so.
You know, you can
See,
use
at
them
the end, it
together.
depends on
Like,
I don't see it.
how the whole squad works. Because
I don't see
But
it.
guys,
You're just gonna have to get sold.
guys, can we have a scenario
Enke, I
where
like the
guys,
fact you brought up
easy.
Pulisic. I wish
I wanna
Hudson-Odoi had the impact
have
of
something.
Pulisic.
Have something. I remember there was an MSN. There was a Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, and there was also Kylian Mbappe and Neymar kind of goal scorer. Can there be a scenario where we're gonna have like Sancho, Pulisic, and Cho together
Abdullah, can I
in
explain
the
this
team?
quick?
Can they work? Can both of them work?
Can I say this quick? So here's the thing.
I don't
I
see
think
it. I don't see it. I don't see it.
all Chelsea fans. No, NK. Let me tell you why you don't.
I don't see
Because
it.
all Chelsea fans have sort of been blinded because of this new system where we don't necessarily use wingers. We use like those number 10s, right? But next season, when we do have wingers, you will see us get exposed if we only use 2 proper ones. Ziyech is not a winger, in my opinion. So for Chelsea, the best thing to do is to move on Ziyech, find a way, if we can, to sell Ziyech and bring in Sancho, and that way we have 3 really good wingers, and we can rotate them. Odoi can rotate for Pulisic, for Sancho. He plays on both wings. Sancho can do that as well. And what we do get is we get not only do we get versatility, but we also get the competition that Odoi needs. We get it would be ideal almost. And next season we would profit from that because right now the wingers we have, next season when we do play with wingers, we're in trouble. That's all
He
I
has
gotta say
competition
about
now. I don't really
No, we
see him
don't.
improving.
It's not about competition too. Competition is an aspect, but
He has
versatility
competition
and
now.
rotation.
I just don't see.
Ziyech is not a
Do
He
you
winger.
needs
think he
time.
needs a loan?
He needs time.
Enke, do you think Hudson-Odoi needs a loan? Enke, do you
Do
hear?
I think he needs a what?
He needs a loan.
I think it'll be in his best interest to get a loan. I actually think it'll
Yeah.
be in his best interest to move. Yeah, to move. I think
Yeah.
it'll be in his best interest. I think it'll be in his best interest to leave Chelsea completely. I'll leave. I'll go. I'll go.
Maybe
There's
even
no
go to
time. I'll
Germany.
go.
Go to Germany or Italy even. Because I really like what Tomori did
Yeah,
to
go
go
to
to AC
Germany.
Milan.
Yeah.
Go to a club like
Yeah,
that
I agree.
they're in
Go
a
to
way
Germany.
of rebuilding, but they're still playing high level football where you can play Champions League or Europa League. That would be a good fit for him because the thing with these youngsters is the same thing with Tammy Abraham.
Exactly.
And I know
Yeah,
Tammy Abraham, a lot of people don't see this talent at all, but I actually see it. Is that this guy is the potential is there. It's just that, and I understand why Tammy gets more scrutiny because it's a number 9, and if you're not scoring goal regularly, almost every game as a number 9, people will always find something about you. But the thing is, these guys need game time. They need experience. But at this level where Chelsea, United, all these teams are playing,
yeah, they need
you can't
experience.
really. There's no time for that. There's really no time for that, and it's about who performs. So if Hudson-Odoi can't be performing consistently every game, it's better
Look,
he gets a loan or
look at what
transfer.
look at what Arsenal did with Look at what Arsenal did with Joe Willock and Ains Maitland-Niles. Joe Willock, I've never seen anything like this from Joe Willock at all. And I watch Arsenal play quite a bit. I don't see how he's been playing for Newcastle at all. Some guys just need game time, honestly. Game time is the best development. Like some people just need game time. I think Joe's one of those guys.
Even Loftus-Cheek said it that what really helped him under Sarri is that he got some consistent game time, especially in the Europa League. That after a while, it's like almost you have this sixth sense when you're playing football that you know what's going to happen. And sometimes you can only get that from playing consistently for like 5-6 games in a row, even where you're just in tune with everything in the game and you don't really get lost. And like that's when you see players you're not even overthinking it. So all these players need, I think, Tammy Hudson-Odoi, especially Hudson-Odoi, this next season, if he's playing the way he's playing right now and he's getting the game time he's getting, he needs to leave. And I hope Tammy goes to AC Milan though. What the comments say, it says Tammy is a smart striker. You could see it in his movement. Smart players tend to be lazy in training. Maybe that's why Thomas Tuchel doesn't play him. No, the reason is Thomas Tuchel's system is not helping our strikers. And that's the main thing with the system. Even Giroud looks horrible on that.
It's not. Yeah, it does. It's not. You're not gonna beast. You're not gonna beast and eat on his system. Yeah,
No.
you're not gonna beast with this way this team is set up now. You're gonna have to sacrifice something, and with the striker, it's
under Lampard,
touches
I
on
hate
the
bringing up
ball
Lampard
and chances really.
Yeah, under Lampard, I don't want to make this a Lampard thing, but under Lampard, we won't complain of our strikers not being good enough or looking bad. It was they were missing chances. But under this Tuchel's ball, they don't even get chances. I literally have never seen Giroud and Tammy look this horrible in a game, like under the system. But hopefully, maybe when he changes to a back four, is the difference.
Exactly. I know for me, I don't think Chelsea, after Chelsea invested this kind of money on him, give him that contract, I don't think they will sell him. Because Chelsea is not depth enough. They will rather sell Ziyech than sell Odoi, though. For me.
The thing is, Hudson-Odoi, it reminds me of, like, I think Hudson-Odoi has the potential to be, in the next 4 or 5 years, one of the best players. It's just, the only thing I would say is that I feel Sancho, why I brought up the whole Sancho stuff was that I feel Sancho has been playing more consistently. And I like Sancho's dribbling, man. That guy dribbles. Like, he's a dribbler. But when you talk about football IQ, I do feel Hudson-Odoi is better.
Yeah, because Sam, the guy takes so much touches on the ball and has so much balance. Like it's almost he can go past him, man. I would love to have Sancho, man. The only reason why I'd buy the new Chelsea kit is if I see Sancho number 7 or 11 on the back. That's the only.
Yeah, can we talk
That's
about
the
that
only
new
reason.
Chelsea kit? How bad is it? I actually like it. I don't
It's
mind
growing
that
on
new
me.
Chelsea
It's growing
kit.
on me.
I like it. I like the design and all that.
Sam, it's better than the new Man U kit. Have you seen the sponsor? It looks like a Sunday
Nah,
League sponsor.
Team View or something.
Yeah. You cannot be serious with that sponsor, bro.
That's what you
We just
call
have to
money
wait and see what
talks.
we're gonna do in the summer, though.
Yeah, but Abdullah, have you guys talked about tomorrow's game?
Yeah, yeah.
Have we?
I think we only branched to it though. So what do you guys think about tomorrow's game?
I am pissing myself. I'm nervous. Tomorrow's game is a
Because I'm
final.
gonna do a post match after the match tomorrow. So
Abdullah, tomorrow's game is a final. But
we better win, so I'll be able to do a good post match. I don't
yes,
wanna be bored. I don't wanna be bored.
don't worry, because I'm not as worried as I was on Saturday because I'm thinking Mendy's coming back in. I'm thinking, Kova's coming. You've got, and hopefully he starts Pulisic. We cannot play. We have to play a full strength team for the next three games, right? So I wouldn't say we've reached crisis. I wouldn't. I still say there's still something there, and I wouldn't say our confidence has been shattered. I think it's just enough to galvanize the dudes to do better. So I am confident, but I'm still scared. If we lose, I don't even want to say that word. We better win tomorrow. That's all I have to say. We better win. Because if we don't, Abdullahi, your medical bill, bro. I hope you have good insurance just in case, bro.
I have
I'm
good
just saying.
insurance.
Abdullah, if it comes to you, just remember it's a bunch of guys kicking a ball.
I know.
Just remember that.
And yes.
But yeah, man, for me, that tomorrow's game, man, it's for me, it's going to show more this Tuchel if he's the real deal. And I'm not saying that he should leave because actually Samuel and is this SK, they made some nice points the last time, so I do agree with them. Let's see what he can do next season. But yeah, man, I just feel it would be. The main thing is I really don't care about this game tomorrow if we win the Champions League. It's such a weird position. So in a way, if we don't win it, it's going to be bad, but we still have a final to play for, which in my case, that final is we're playing for everything. We're playing
But
for a
Sam, do you
great
know what I
season.
fear? Do you know what I fear above all? I think our team, like Real Madrid, all their players have this mentality, right? They're not going to bottle things like this. Or in the Champions League final, they're not going to bottle. They might bottle league games, but not
And I
Champions League final.
think
But I think we're too young to have all that pressure on us. The team is too young, so I would rather we qualify. And we just go there and say, last year, nothing to lose. We're hardest.
100%. Even me, I agree with that too. What I'm just saying is that
and I also
can't
think
overreact.
if we can fluke our way to win the UCL, that would be a momentum. That would be a momentum happiness for the young guy because it will give them much confidence that as a young guy we can do this. If a new player comes in and a new recruitment comes in with a group together, they can easily go far in terms of winning more trophies with the club.
Yeah.
Abdullah,
I think, but tomorrow's game is very crucial. Like, there's no way we can even try because right now our momentum,
himself said it. Tomorrow's
the momentum is very key for tomorrow. There's no way we can even draw tomorrow. We need to win like any way.
After that Allison goal with the header, that just destroyed everything. But what I was just saying is that even if we don't win tomorrow, if we lose, I won't feel the season is over. Because let's be real, if Chelsea didn't win tomorrow and we're in the Champions League final, the season is over.
The season will be over if we don't win tomorrow because there's no way with that momentum you have with a run of 3 losses and you want to say you want to be
problematic, yeah.
Guys, I just saw a news now, and I'm not sure if the news is right or not. Somebody just tweeted me now that Manchester City they will send a bid of 150 million to Harry Kane. They will pay Tottenham the money. They will pay Tottenham the money. But United probably won't sign to. They won't go for Harry Kane. But Man City will pay the money for Harry Kane. And they really want to buy Harry
Like,
Kane.
can you bring up? There's just so much coincidences. Can you just bring up this guy's comment?
You know my problem with stuff like this. This is how people were saying, "Oh, Chelsea won Champions League and FA Cup last time they won the Champions League, and now we lost the FA Cup." So
These kind of things, they just reaffirm us, or they comfort us at least in times of uncertainty.
exactly.
They find patterns when they want to. So.
Nah, man, tomorrow's game is a must-win. I totally agree. It's just maybe in the Champions League, maybe in the Champions League, like merchant, I'll be angry, but I won't be that angry. Like I'll still look at
Just
it
have to wait more,
we
at
have
least
some
just to have the momentum and the stability to pull through. So that's it for me. Whether just have that build that momentum, like keep going to make us much better at it. Because I'm gonna do a post-match. I don't want to do a post-match
tomorrow. Give a
and,
prediction
and start swearing and start shaking for some players. I don't want to do. I want to do a post-match and have the rest of mind, please.
Are you gonna give a prediction?
I hate
it. Chelsea.
Okay, let's give a prediction.
Man, I don't think I can.
I don't think I can. I hate it.
No, the thing is,
Yeah,
I'm too nervous. I
I think tomorrow's match is going to be too close to the end of the picture.
I just can't.
My heart
Depends
cannot
on
take.
who
My heart
turns
cannot
up.
take it. I would rather keep my mouth shut. My heart can.
Wait, Samuel, what prediction do you have?
Prediction? I'm actually quite confident, to be honest. We're gonna have the fans back, right? We're gonna play at home. So let's see. I'm gonna say Pulisic goal and Havertz goal. So I'm gonna say 2-0 Chelsea. I'm going out on a limb and saying 2-0 Chelsea. I just have a feeling. I don't know.
Okay, hopefully.
Hopefully, though. Hopefully. But I'm not confident, my brother. I am not confident.
What we change now from so Zambia is from there, I'm sure.
I don't know why, but I just feel like it's too much.
I hope Christensen is fit.
Yeah, Tuchel said he's in the
fully
squad
fit,
tomorrow with Kovacic.
Oh, okay.
Well, I hope also we start Pulisic for sure. In that front three. I hope we also start Havertz. I also think Miss Mount is hired at some point.
I think at some point we have to rest Messi Mount. We'll have to rest him some points.
So I think tomorrow is not a bad week to rest him and actually getting ready for goal even against City. Sure. Lastly, tomorrow is a good game to rest him. I'll play, maybe won't play Hudson-Odoi, play Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, and Havertz. Those guys to score. I'll play Kovacic and I'm counting behind them. Just saying.
That's true, though. That's nice.
Because tomorrow we need to dribble and score. We need to win, like period.
We just need to beat, we just need to make a statement tomorrow and just beat them, just beat them.
Yeah, because anything less than that tomorrow, I'll be in all kinds of situations where I'm off.
I don't want to be in that situation where I'm gonna be depressed, unhappy doing this thing tomorrow. I don't want to do that.
Because things are already happening for very, very depressing. Trying with the women also losing yesterday, right? So
exactly. And I trust the boys and I trust Thomas Tuchel to make the right decision and the right call for me, though.
Oh yes, I do that too. I think tomorrow we're going to see a different team. And we're going to see a brave team too. A team that is going to take the ball to Leicester and actually force them to make errors. Because on Saturday it was just too comfortable for Leicester. Too comfortable. And we're too predictable. We move the ball slowly.
Yeah.
And like I said, it looks like this team. I want to judge them tomorrow because from tomorrow I will know who we're going to play in Champions League. I want to see that reaction tomorrow.
That's true. That's true, though. Tomorrow I will judge them. That you are very correct, very very right.
Yeah, because I don't want to judge them because of Arsenal and Leicester, but it's enough to actually make people start with because everybody now is nervous. Most people are not saying, "Oh, Chelsea might not even win that Champions League."
Exactly. Man. I mean, you don't know what it's gonna do for me with tomorrow's man. Win tomorrow, win Aston Villa, prepare for Man City and win Man City tomorrow, especially this year. Man, it will mean a lot to my life. A lot.
Oh yeah.
I have suffered a lot. I have suffered, man. It will mean so much to me, man. So much. It's gonna mean so much to me, man. I just hope we do well and we can challenge. So I think basically that's it, guys. So like, subscribe, guys. Subscribe, guys. I'm planning something big for the UCL final, guys. I don't know what is on my head at the moment, but I'm planning something big for the UCL, guys. It's gonna be so momentum, guys. I cannot wait for I think it's next week, right? Next week, yeah. Next week Saturday, guys. The UCL is gonna be next week Saturday. Next week Saturday. Planning something big, guys. Something big.
Next week Saturday? Damn.
Yeah, next Saturday. That's 29th. Wow. Yeah, this Saturday is 23. The season finished this season. Then next week, and guys, you know why I'm happy? The boys are gonna have a full day, a full 1 week to prepare for the match, which makes me happy. Which Tuchel has not been having for a very long time. It's not been having it. It's all about rest, recovery. It's gonna have like 1 full day to recover for the match and get prepared, man.
Okay, you guys take care.
Peace, everybody. Peace.
Take care. Peace.
See you guys tomorrow, guys. See you guys tomorrow for the post match.
Good luck,
Peace,
bro.
everybody. Peace.